Hello and welcome to another edition of Swimmer Sync. On the first day of Pride Month, happy Pride Month to everyone watching this. My name's Nino. Joining me on the mic will be Shads.
What is up, everyone? It is Swimmer Sync 70, only 30 more to go till we reach the big 100. And coincidentally, only 100 days until Splatoon 3 comes out. I'm excited. Is anybody else excited?
I am absolutely excited. I can't wait to see what this new game brings us, and I can't wait to see what it brings to the table, especially to the competitive scene. I know we're all hoping for different things. I know we're all hoping maybe even some servers. Hello, Nintendo, you listening? But I know we're all hoping for lots of new things, but until now, we're going to enjoy this wonderful game we have with us right now. So up for this next match. First up, oh, my bad, sorry, but first up, we're going to have Eternal Frost versus Crimson Quake. Shads, what do you think about this matchup?
I'll be honest, I haven't commentated in so long because of school that I don't really recognize either of these two teams. I know I've run into Crimson Quake before in League. If I remember correctly, Bloody on Crimson Quake is a support player. I don't really know anybody on Crimson Frost, so these two teams are kind of a mystery for me.
And up to the maps, we've got Splat Zones on Mako Mart, Tower Control on Starfish, Rainmaker on Manta. Big fan of Mako Mart, and it's not just because I'm a tri-main, but it looks like we've got an interesting set of maps here today. We're going to head into our first matchup. Flat Zones on Mako Mart, as I said, trying to be a little bit redundant, but regardless, we are going to get going in a few seconds.
Yeah, this is such a great map for a lot of different weapons, tries, as you mentioned, Slosh in general, any glitch camping weapons, blasters, rollers. Don't see any sloshers, which honestly surprises me, but I do see a charger, which I like. Mika is going to be running that Fire Fin. We have Bloody on the H3D uncommon armor weapon right there, and then we have rounding off Crimson Quake, the Splash Neo, and the Kensa Gal. Meanwhile, on the side of Eternal Frost, we see the classic NZAP 85 and Kensa Shot pairing, and then they also will have a Kensa 52 and a Splash Neo, and 3 down go really quickly on Crimson Quake's side, so Eternal Frost is going to get this first cap here.
It looks like they all started to pour in a little bit too fast there, as they lost 3 almost immediately as they went down, but Eternal Frost has already lost one player due to the scope on Crimson Quake's side. And it looks like they're going to keep zone anyway, but they're going to start contesting it. And Crimson Quake is able to take zone, get some points on the board. K-Shot's going to try to go for pick there. Unfortunately, they're in big trouble there. 2 down, 3 down now on Crimson Quake's side. Eternal Frost is going to go back to business, taking care of that left stack. And it looks like we're going to go straight back to where Crimson Quake was, except they still got a little bit of a penalty to knock down.
Now, one does go down on the side of Eternal Frost, but they are quickly chewing away at that penalty, and specials are almost on the line for Crimson Quake. 1 down on Crimson Quake. That K52 does go down. That is unfortunate since that's one of their main killing weapons. And it looks like this is going to be another 3 down situation on the side of Crimson Quake. Eternal Frost is just getting really, really good at swarming the enemy team and just getting lots and lots of picks.
Almost looks like Crimson Quake's struggling with finding an opening there. They're either going way too fast for anything to manifest, or they're just waiting a bit too long for it. As they see in some specials pop out, they might actually have an opening here as they get a pick on Eternal Frost, and they're able to get the zone. They do get the zone. They're going to have to knock down that penalty though, but they do get 2 down on Eternal Frost. Crimson Quake is going to start knocking down some points as they got 2 specials ready. One pick on Eternal Frost, and it looks like the fortunes may be turning around for Crimson Quake as they're able to knock themselves down into 65 remaining. Specials are starting to come out from Crimson Quake, and this actually might be the end of that push as they start to neutralize that zone. The Booyah comes out, and it looks like they're going to be trying to paint that zone, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Down to 49 points remaining. They go 1 down, and this might be it for Crimson Quake's push, as they're going to have to back up here, and that's going to be it. So, doesn't quite get the lead there, but hopefully that's enough to make a statement that they won't back down.
Yeah, that was definitely a good push there on the side of Crimson Quake. They were struggling in the beginning part of this map. Now, though, they have 2 specials online. The Firefin is very close to that bomb rush. Missiles have come out. Armor's coming out now on the side of Crimson Quake. Avix is going to try and pick a fight with what looks like the H3. H3 probably ran away. 1 down on each side of the field. Booyah Bomb coming out from Eternal Frost to try and get this zone capped again. And Davix is just really holding 2 people back right now because of the fact that it's able to be so aggressive with that wall. 3 down on the side of Crimson Quake with 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Eternal Frost is in a very strong position here. Crimson Quake is just going to have to run in, but they have 1 member on the snipe there, and that will be game 1 in favor of Eternal Frost.
A great job there by Eternal Frost, especially with the defense. They did not let Crimson Quake get well, they did let him get a single push, and they did seem to struggle a bit there, but apart from that, they quickly picked it back up, taking game 1 against Crimson Quake. And I'd give a shout out to the K-Gal there. I forgot how to pronounce it. Was it Davix? But I mean, regardless, that was a great job there, especially using the splash wall to their advantage, getting that double pick on the 2 players there. So great job as we head into our second match, Tower on Starfish. What can we expect to see here?
Well, first off, I'm kind of hoping that Crimson Quake will change their comp a little bit. So one thing that I'm not sure everybody would have noticed was that comp, they weren't running a ton of lethal bombs. They had 1. That, of course, being the one on the H3B. Then you had 2 splash walls and the burst bomb, which can make the unseating people from ledges very difficult on Mako. And Starfish is another stage with a lot of ledges. You figure there's a big snipe. There's the area to the right of the spawn, right near the second checkpoint. There are the attics. It's a lot of changes in elevation. I'm kind of hoping that they'll have more bombs to be able to roll over the edge or have somebody swap to a slosher. I know a while ago Bloody used to play slosher, so hopefully still see some change. Honestly, I don't really expect much change from Eternal Frost, though. That's a very, very solid comp that works very well on a lot of different stages in pretty much any map or mode.
Absolutely. I think we are going to see some changes from Crimson Quake as they try to make some adjustments to better change their comp. Actually, I may have lied. Since it looks like we're going to get to see the same kind of comp from Crimson Quake and the same kind of comp from Eternal Frost. Looks like if it ain't broke, don't fix it from both sides approach. So we're going to go ahead and see how they work with this, which both teams opting to go. Looks like some players from Eternal Frost opting to go for some specials. You see the Zap there trying to get that armor. Is able to get that armor and pops it right off. Unfortunately, they do go 1 down to Crimson Quake, so Eternal Frost is going to have to reworked opening here. They do go 2 down now, but Crimson Quake has also lost a player, so now they're 1 down equally, waiting for another player to respawn. So it looks like we're back in that neutral battle again. And this might be what we see from Crimson Quake as they start to readjust their strategies, see what they can do better to find those approaches.
Yeah, really what both teams want to do right now, since it is a neutral game, we don't see a lot of people going down on either side. They want to get their specials, and they also want to flank. 2 down on each side of the field. Winner's going to go for Matt, but Matt's going to find that pick there. That's a full wipe on Eternal Frost, which I believe is actually the first time they've been more than 2 down at any point in the set so far. Matt's going to watch those Penta missiles at people coming out of spawn. Hopefully they'll be able to get some picks with that. One member looks like probably the splash coming from the left over by the second checkpoint. Bloody's on that tower, going to get the pick off of one person on the snipe. Not able to survive that though, and Matt's going to hop back on this tower now to get it through that checkpoint, which is important. You always want to clear at least one checkpoint every push. Sniper does go down on the side of Crimson Quake. Stealth is in sandwiched between a couple members of the enemy team, but he's going to be able to escape. And it looks like one member of Crimson Quake jumped back, so that push is good and dead. But a 51 push, not bad, especially considering how long the game was in neutral. But now here come all the specials. We see the Ink Armor came out, the Bomb Rush came out, the Booyah came out. That's going to delay Crimson Quake from getting in.
Yeah, like you said, all the specials starting to come out from Eternal Frost. It's their turn to respond. However, Crimson Quake is going to respond with specials of their own. They get the full wipe on Eternal Frost. That push is going to end very quickly. They don't even get to go past the first checkpoint. Unfortunate for them, but a great response there by Crimson Quake. Doing a great job with that defense there. You can already see an improvement from the last game. They're doing a great job defending those pushes against Eternal Frost. They do get... Ooh, look at Cap there getting a pick on the zap. Then they try to get another. Has 2 teams. Both teams are down 1 player. Both teams are down 2 players now. It's a 2v2. As they fight to get to the second checkpoint, 1 player is a bit weak on there, and it looks like the Splash is going to fight the, I think the HD. It is the H3, and it's still in a fight there. Notes, both of them trade. Oh my goodness, what a fight there as they go to 43 points remaining. It's going to be up to Cap to see what they can do. They do get 1 pick, but that's going to be it.
Yeah, one member on the side of Eternal Frost Gal has their special, so that's going to be very good for clearing the snipe. And it doesn't look like any of the members on Crimson Quake, with the exception of the Kensa 50, not the Kensa 52, the K-Shot is going to be very close to their special, so they don't have a lot to help defend against this push like they did last push. Missiles coming out now from aforementioned K-Shot. Mitka is playing very aggressively, forced to jump out there, which is smart. They were not in a good position. Matt coming in from behind with that shot. They're doing very, very well this game.
Oh, absolutely. I think they found their response. I think they found their footing after that first match. They said, you know what, that first match was just a warm-up. It's just a little tasting of what we're about to bring to the table here. As Storm might be looking at a flank here, might be looking to take the attic. Decides against it, decides to go straight back into business, trying to stop this push. Unfortunately, they are now 1 down. Eternal Frost is 1 down. They might be looking at another wipe here. Could they get the missiles on that Zap? Unfortunately, they do not. Now the Zap's on Snipe. They do get a pick on Crimson Quake, and it looks like it's going to be the end of that pick, possibly. End of that push, possibly. They do get 3 down. It's just a Sniper, and a Sniper goes down as well. So it looks like that's going to be the end of Crimson Quake's push, as Eternal Frost has 1 minute to make another response, whereas Crimson Quake's 43 points remaining. So they start to see some specials coming out. This could be the push they were looking for.
And 2 members down on the side of Crimson Quake. You can see 1 member of Crimson Quake is going up onto Dead Snipe to try and pick fights, but that is not a winning fight you want to take. There are people shooting at you from all angles. They do manage to find 1. 2 down on the side of Eternal Frost. If the Sniper can get a pick here, they do. This is going to be a really, really good stop by Eternal Frost. Not Eternal Frost, Crimson Quake. I thought for sure Eternal Frost was going to get the lead there.
Crimson Quake doing what it has been doing since the beginning, responding to those pushes effectively, using their specials, using that kind of swarming tactic in order to get to their opponents as fast as possible. Oh my goodness, they're going 3 down. Now it's 1v1. Now, unfortunately, doesn't get to the tower fast enough. That game is going to Crimson Quake. We're going to a game 3. Well, we were going to a game 3 regardless because it's playoff 3. But Crimson Quake tying it up against Eternal Frost in what has been a statement for them, a response from game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to see overtime there because it's where you see an overtime situation where it's a 1v1 like that. That would have been so cool to see because on paper, that matchup between the H3 and the Splash, most of the time that's going to go in the Splash's favor because it's such a more mobile weapon. But considering that the Splash also had to ride the tower, well, that limits their mobility a lot. So that could have been super fun to watch. But we're moving on to Rainmaker and it's Manta Maria, which begs the question, will we see the Sploosh 7 with the hammer?
Absolute favorite on Rainmaker. I have seen multiple people pull it out, and you can't even call it a gimmick pick anymore because we see it a lot, and it's starting to become less of a niche pick and more of, okay, when are they going to pull it out? Because it's so effective, especially with that stamp. That stamp not only is able to clear out some players, get a few picks, but it also clears out bombs. You're also able to clear out lots of space, get some paint going. So great job. So it'd be a great job with whoever got that Sploosh 7. But we may well see the same comps we saw earlier. Some quad shooters, lots of paint, lots of bomb rushes, anything to get that shield popped within seconds.
Yeah, bomb, and considering that Crimson Quake is running double bomb rush, that's going to make for some very quick pops. Honestly, I really like the comps that both teams are running. They seem to be working well for them. Sometimes I like to see comp changes, but honestly, I would be perfectly happy to see these two teams run the same comp. I think that it would work well here.
Absolutely. Those two comps that they've been running, again, they're taking a whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach, and that's what I love to see since Crimson Quake was able to make it work, obviously. So we're going to see what they pull out here in Rainmaker, Manta Maria, Game 3. And it looks like it's going to be... There it is! The Sploosh 7 on both sides now! Wow, that's incredible. And we see quad object shredder from Crimson Quake, actually, with the K-Shot, C-Jet, Zap, and Sploosh 7. And Eternal Frost opting for the Zap, K-Shot, Sploosh 7, and a K-Machine.
The K-Machine is always nice to see. I mean, obviously Splashdown is a very funky special to use at the best of times. But it can also be used to insta-pop the Rainmaker. It can be very useful here as well with the elevation changes. One down on the side of Crimson Quake, we did see that the sniper changed over to a C-Jet, which is very typical for Rainmaker. Looks like Matt is going to have to back up here a little bit. He's got two people on his tail. The Rainmaker is going to go for the cut, which is smart. There's not a lot of people there. The Stingray is going to find them, but they do have to get it over it, so up to 69 points remaining for them. Yeah,
great job there with the Ray. Obviously, one of the favorites when it comes to Rainmaker, especially on narrow maps like Manta Maria. That's something you definitely want to see coming out from both sides. And speaking of both sides, they are both one down. Crimson Eternal Frost now two down, thanks to the Sploosh 7. Sploosh 7 trying to throw that. Gonna throw that just to see if they can get a few picks in. Unfortunately, they don't tie it up. That push is not quite over. They're gonna get a few points in as they go to 50 remaining. But unfortunately, that's going to be in that push because it goes 3 down. It's all up to the C-Jet to see what they can do. They're going to have to back up here most likely. Actually, can they get a pick here on the K-Machine? Unfortunately, no, as they going to jump back. Probably their best option for them as that looks like that K-Machine was getting a little bit close to the splash down there. But unfortunately, that K-Machine goes down. 2 go down for Eternal Frost. Crimson Quake back on the move again.
Yeah, nice double there from the C-Jet. Now the game's going to be a little bit neutral here because we do have some members in the bunker right now on the side of Eternal Frost. Because as I say that they go full down, this is going to be a huge push. Bloody is just going to run it. They do know that one member is right there. Some excellent dodging there from him. Able to get it to 16 points remaining. That is really, really good on this map.
Moving as
and with all that object shredder, they could have definitely contested that pop there. Somebody's going to sneak in and get it all the way to 12. I don't know how they managed to survive that Rainmaker popping in blue for them. Well, we're going to try and get some paint on the map here. One member of the Crimson Quake is in mid. Looks like 2 now.
It looks like that's going to be another push for Eternal Frost. They try to get something going here. They're going to need an effective response here as they got quite a few ways to go. They're stuck at the funny number right now, but they got 2 down on the side of Crimson Quake. Eternal Frost is going to start making some moves here. Both teams are now 2 down. Eternal Frost might go 3 down here. It's all up to the Rainmaker to see what they can do. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough as Eternal Frost is now 3 down. Crimson Quake now with the ability to get some paint control. Make sure they got that turf. And make sure they're closing all of the openings that Eternal Frost might have. As you can see, Cap is starting to get a lot more paint in. Using those bombs, using the pressure from the bombs in order to keep... Oh, they do get a pick on one of the bombs. But they do have to go down as well, so now it's 3 down both sides.
Armor coming
It's starting to come out, and it looks like we're gonna try to see some moves here. And Crimson Quake is able to take 3 down on Eternal Frost, so looks like it's gonna be their push to make here.
Yeah, 1 minute and 20 seconds is more than enough time to get it to 11 on Manta, especially if Eternal Frost can get Crimson Quake to go 4 down. One member is going to try and drop behind the Rainmaker to get a couple of picks. K-Shot going up into the bunk, finds another. That's a beautiful double right there. Can they get the third? Yes, they can, so that is a triple for Matt right there. Not able to find the quad. Unfortunate. Stealth is going to get that push. Does get the pick on the hammer, which is very key. That was going to keep them pushing in spawn. Does manage to find a Rainmaker. And it looks like members of Crimson Quake are going to back off here, which is very smart. They want to be able to stay safe at this point.
That's probably their best option here anyway. With 40 seconds to go, it's Crimson Quake's game to lose. They have a 12-point remaining lead, and all Eternal Frost has to do is take it all the way to their pedestal and get it even closer than Crimson Quake did. So it's really Crimson Quake's game to lose, and I think they're going to be playing a little bit more passive here as they wait for Eternal Frost to make the mistake. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing here. Just gonna try to stall it out, see if they can get a few picks in, and they do. Two players down on Eternal Frost. Can they get the third? They do get the third, and it looks like they might just be able to pick it up here and just kind of sit down with it, and that's gonna be it. Crimson Quake able to take Game 3 against Eternal Frost, making it 2-1 against them. A great way to start the day.
Yeah, that is a great win for Crimson Quake, especially because of how dominant Eternal Frost was the first game. If you were just comparing these two teams based on the first game, you would say that Eternal Frost is the better one. But Crimson Quake really rallied back. They did excellent in tower control, Starfish, and then followed it up with a really good job on Rainmaker.
Absolutely. I think Crimson Quake knew what they were doing wrong there. They kind of just took some time to talk themselves in VC, just kind of say, look, I think we may have either been going in way too soon. That's why we kept going 3 down. That's why we kept losing a lot more than we could afford to. So then they got together, really was able to bolster up their defense, especially in Game 2 in tower control. We saw them have quite an effective defense there, as I believe Eternal Frost only barely missed out on the lead, and Crimson Quake was able to take it in once again on Rainmaker Manta, able to successfully complete the 2-1 win against Eternal Frost.
Yeah, so those two teams are going to move on to fighting the next people in their pools. I'm not sure if our next match is ready yet.
Yes, as we await on the so we're going to go ahead and wait on the round 1. We're going ahead and wait. So that was the end of round 1. We are going to move on to round 2 now. We're going to be heading on to break soon. Stay tuned because we have another exciting set for you waiting on the other side of this break. Don't change that channel just yet. We'll be right back. Alright, and welcome back to SOS 70. Round 2 is up. We've got Koi and GG Whast'n up for another exciting set. What can we expect to see here, Shads?
I have no clue because I don't know anything about these two teams. Although I do know from a little bit of quick snooping that the Kyo listed on Koi's roster is not the same Kyo that was on, and still is on as far as I'm aware of, Feet to Win.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a lopsided team there, but I've played with GG Whast'n before, and I can tell you that there are certainly one of those up and coming lower level teams. With the possibility of going up to mid level, I think I've seen a lot of exciting matches from them, and I see a lot of exciting matches from them in the future.
And we get to start things off on Clan Blitz, the Napper Canal. This is a clans match that people, they either love it or they hate it. It's very big, it's very wide open. You have to play very separated from the rest of your team, whereas on a smaller clan stage, like, say, Inkblot or even Starfish, you end up spending a lot of time in mid. You don't go outside of that main area of the map too often, but Snapper, you're all over the place. You're over on the left and the right, by the cuts over the canal, you're flanking around on the sneaky, you're pushing in through the street. There's a lot of different ways to get in that are viable, and you will oftentimes see teams split into duos to handle both sides of the map at once.
And after that, we're going to be taking it to Splat Zones on the Reef. And as soon as I say that, we're going to head into Game 1. You can talk about maps later on, but right now we're going to head into Game 1. 2 splashes coming out from Koi. That's an interesting pick there, and we got a 52 gal, vanilla 52, and a junior. GG Whast'n opting for the K gal, bamboo, zap, and the CDS.
So this is refreshing because weapons that you don't see too often. I mean, double splash is not something you see every day, although it's a very excellent weapon to pick. They are running one of each variant, so we'll see some instead. But vanilla 52, I can think of one person off the top of my head that plays that on a regular basis competitively. Meanwhile, on the side of GG Whast'n, you see the bamboo, you see the CDS. That's something that used to be very popular, and you don't see it as often anymore. Looks like that one splash is going to go down in the middle there instead. You've got members of GG Whast'n going all the way into mid right now to try and pick up some clans. The NZF does have 7, so they're in a pretty good position for a push. The team in general is very well situated right now because they do have 2 members of Koi down.
Yeah, I think V-Splash is honestly one of those picks you don't see a lot, and that's something that I wish we saw a lot, because Toxic Mist is a very sneaky sub there. I think one of the best subs, especially for a weapon like Splash, as those teams go 1 down. GG Whast'n has a power clam ready. They're gonna have to push it back a little, but they do have at least 1 special ready. 2 players going down on Koi. This might be their opening. This might be the opening they're looking for. Oh, wow. That was a really close contact there with the bomb. But it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to get them. And, of course, what doesn't kill you obviously makes you stronger, or at least that much closer to getting a push on Clan Blitz, as they do here.
Yeah, they are going to manage to throw that ball in. One member of Koi is going to come across the cut, but they are going to quickly get double teamed in the street. 2 down on the side of GG Whast'n, make that 2 down on the side of Koi. This push is still going on, which is really incredible considering that it was a very messy start to the push. They did go 2 down at the beginning. But it doesn't look like they have any more clans. See, somebody off to the side has 4 and are going to come in through mid. That's the bamboo. But the bamboo getting in is going to be very difficult at this point. But down to 18, that is a solid push. And that is definitely enough to win on this map if GG Whast'n can just hold their defense. 3 down on the side of Koi versus 2 down on the side of GG Whast'n. So it looks like they're going to be in pretty good situation to keep holding this mid area and keeping the map nice and yellow, which will of course make it much more easy for the bamboo to get picks.
It looks like GG Whast'n has been in pretty good shape thus far, especially getting that 3 down. They might be looking at another push here if they can get a few specials going. The CDS is ready to go. They've got a pick from the bamboo, and Rain's starting to come out. The Booyah is going to come out, and this could be another push that can get them that much closer to a KO victory with 2 minutes remaining. They do get that power clam in, and unfortunately, despite that, they're going to go 2 down. Both teams are going 2 down, but GG Whast'n is going to keep piling on the points. Unlucky there as they go 3 down, and that might be the end of that push. Unfortunately, they are only able to eliminate the penalty there, but that's going to be the end of that push. A little unlucky from them, but it's going to be their game to lose.
Yeah, considering that they had a 41-point penalty, that was a very excellent push from them. Tequila is going to take this guy right now with his inkjet, see if they can find somebody. They are getting double teamed by 2. The armor is going to come out to help them stay alive. Does manage to get the assist off of 1 and manages to pick up that ball just in the nick of time. They're going to jump in with that clam. Look, they did manage to get it both in. I thought for a minute they missed. Bombers coming out from 1 splash onside of Koi. More clams going in now as Kyo is just going to try and keep that basket open. Another power clam coming in. They do get the lead. That is incredible. A push from 100 to 4. But they also go 4 down. That's just going to mean that GG Whast'n is going to take this back completely and to be in a very strong position for an almost immediate counter push.
GG Whast'n started the game with a convincing push, and Koi might be ending the game with a convincing push of their own. However, GG Whast'n is going to go swarming toward the street, and they do get the power clam in. GG Whast'n responded quickly and effectively, answering the call there. Unlucky from Koi, but GG Whast'n is going to take game 1 of round 2. Convincing push after convincing push is what got GG Whast'n to the win there. Absolutely wonderful job from them.
Yeah, really, I think what the hardest part that Koi had going for them was that their 2 main painters, the 2 splashes, kept going down, and they just couldn't compete with the paint being put out by the NZAP because of that. So we're going to move on to Splatoon's brief. The first Splatoon stage, it's not the best stage, it's not the worst stage. Holding the bridge is going to be key here. I would love to see somebody play a weapon that has a nice AoE attack to try and stay on that bridge and just rain paint down from above. A dynamo would be super cool to see here. Any kind of slosher.
Yeah, like you said, bridge is the name of the game here when it comes to the reef. No matter what mode, no matter what the situation is, bridge is one of those key points at the map. But as far as I tell, comps are gonna be. I think their comps are gonna look somewhat similar. I mean, we already saw Booyah, we already saw Rain coming out from GG Whast'n, and it's worked well in Clan Blitz, and it might even work well here, as both teams just kind of taking their time to decide their comps. Shads, what do you think we might see here?
I think Antonia, I believe, was the one that was playing Bamboo. I think Antonia will slot. Now, that's not to say that you can't play Bamboo on flat zones, but I'm not sure how good it'll be here on the reef, especially because since the zone is underneath the bridges, Tenta missiles aren't going to paint them as well as it would on, say, a map like Piranha, where even if you miss the people in the zone, you still get paint on the zone. On the flip side, it can also be really funny because you catch people off guard with Tenta missiles when they're standing on the bridge and you target somebody beneath them. But if I had to peg one person changing, it would be Antonia. And yeah, they're going to change to a V-Jet, which is probably the smarter choice here. It is going to paint more than a Bamboo will. Meanwhile, on the side of Koi, we move from double splash to double gal, this time being a Kensa 52 and a Vanilla 96.
Yeah, we're gonna see more of the same here. We saw the K52 and the CDS here. Oh, and there's a trade from both teams. Both teams going 2 down now. It's going to be a neutral battle yet again. GG Whast'n now going 3 down. It's all up to the K-Gal to see what they're going to do. They're going to have to pop off a Booyah just to try to get out of the way. But unlucky end there to that fight. So Koi is going to start getting straight to business as they're going to take control of the zone. They do take control of that bridge there. Again, a key part of the map, and that could very well decide just how much of the map you can dominate, as both teams they're gonna be a trade from Koi and GG Whast'n. Koi is gonna go 3 down. That's gonna be the end of that. GG Whast'n is now gonna move into the zone and we'll see what they can do from there.
Yeah, push to 53, pretty respectable for a first push. There's still plenty of time to capitalize on it. Members of Koi are getting pretty close to the special. You can see that the gal has their armor, and it looks like the 52 gets their Booyah. The Bomb Rush is coming out now, so they're going to change their specials. Armor are coming out. Junior looks like they changed the armor. Whast'n doesn't have any specials to counter that, so the fact that they're holding onto the zone for as long as they did was very nice. 2 down on the side of GG Whast'n versus 1 down on the side of Koi. CDS does manage to even things up though a little bit, and they're going to try and see if they can get a pick on Mojito here. Not able to find them just yet, but armor coming in will help make that 2v1 that they found themselves in much more fair. Mojito's going to be forced back here, not able to escape the Kansas 52 zone. His send back spawns 3 down on the side of Koi. Last one jumps out. That is an effective light.
Great job there by GG Whast'n, responding to the push from Koi. As they do take care of that penalty, they might be looking at the lead here. They are going to get the lead as they do get a pick on Koi. Might be getting another pick here with the Booyah. Unfortunately, that Booyah is popped, and they go 2 down now. That's going to be the end of that push. Actually, yeah, it is the end of that push, and Jet Scorcher was able to get a few picks on Koi, able to stop that, able to stop whatever semblance they have of kind of defense there. And it looks like GG Whast'n going straight back to the board here, get some more points on the board, hopefully extend that lead right as soon as they get care of that penalty. But it looks like they've got it locked down here. Mojito looking at what could possibly be a little bit of sneaky play here. They do get one down, the Jet's down, the Booyah's going to start coming out, the specials are going to start coming out. As soon as I say that, the one person with a special is also down, and it looks like GG Whast'n's back at it.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of Koi. Whast'n is going to extend their lead here as the penalties expire. Pacquiao there gets double teamed and stuck in their wall, not able to really get anyone, but 2 down on the side of Koi, which means that more people are going to get them back to spawn. They are very staggered right now. You can see that they're coming out of spawns in twos and single players rather than as a large group like they want to. The CDS do go down, but there are only 6 seconds remaining on the clock. Antonio is doing a great job holding his grid. Another one down. We are at the 1 point mean. Can Koi get this? Not able to find the cap in time, so this will be a set win for GG Whast'n.
Great job there by GG Whast'n, able to take care of the defensive battles there, especially the Jet at the end there, taking control of bridge, making sure that Junior didn't have any sort of opportunity to not only pop off the armor, but try to sneak into make even a desperation play. So great job by GG Whast'n there on the defensive end and on the offensive end as they found those responses. But we're going to move on to Game 3, Tower Control on Inkling Art Academy. One of the fun little short maps, one of the funnest short maps in my opinion. What can we see here?
Good question. Antonia, I could see swapping back to Bamboo or sticking with the V-Jet. Either one would be good here. On the side of Koi, I really kind of want to see them try and strike a balance between the 2 comps that they did for plans in Splat Zone. So Splat Zones, they had 2 weapons that they kill very well, those being the gals, but they don't really paint that well. Meanwhile, in Clan Blitz, they had 2 weapons that were both really good at killing and painting, those being the Splash-O-Matics, but they didn't really get a chance to utilize it. So I feel like they were struggling with paint in general this last match, and I want to see them maybe modify the comp, maybe pick up something that is a bit more paint-heavy than a gal, but not necessarily as paint-heavy as a Splash, like a K-Shot or something. Absolutely.
I think, like you said, paint was something they struggled with earlier, but luckily this is a play all 3. Koi can still take something out of this. Koi can still end up playing as a little bit of a spoiler for GG Whast'n as we head into Game 3 now. Tower Control on Inkblot. GG Whast'n with the advantage here, but Koi has more than enough of the ability to make this a 2-1 as we start to look at the weapon choices here. GG Whast'n opting for the K-Gal, V-Jet, not, and what I believe is also Zap, and Koi opting for the Junior Tri Nouveau, nice pick there, totally not biased, not, and the 96 Gal.
So we're looking for the comps. You do see a better balance being struck on the side of Koi. They do have some still kill heavy weapons, but they also have more paint than they did with the Splat Zones match. Antonio's going to hop on the tower real quick for GG Whast'n, then first on the stack. Meanwhile, on the side of GG Whast'n, you see a Nautilus, which is very, very fun to watch. It kills very well. It's the only sword charged Splatling, so you can keep them pulling off all sorts of cool tricks. And of course, that Inkjet is going to be very good for clearing out the bats and just Splat in general.
Yeah, both teams going... Actually, GG Whast'n going one down. That's going to be the end of their push. Unlucky for them. Actually, they're going to go straight back onto the tower. Not deciding against it. But 2 deep. Actually, Koi's going 2 down. They might go 3 down here. They do go 3 down. It was just a jet. Who knows where that jet could have gone. But it looks like they're going to start taking control of that plat. They might start hopping up at the bats. The Inkjet's going to start to come out. Look for a pick there. Doesn't quite get the pick that they need. There's one on the little bird thing. I'm not quite sure what that is. I just call it a bird though, so I guess we're calling it a bird now. But that's going to be the end of that push for GG Whast'n.
I don't know necessarily. You see, they were doing a very good job at holding the tower right there at the first checkpoint. Even if they don't move it that far past the checkpoint, just holding it there and stalling it out really helps, considering that they have the lead right now. And they're doing really great here. Pushing into the spawn zone is going up onto the bats area, going to try and get Tequila as they come out of spawn. Booyah forces them to back off a little bit. Missiles coming out from Antonia. 1 down on the side of GG Whast'n. Members are coming down from the bats now to get 2 down on the side of GG Whast'n. So Koi is doing a very good job getting this push stopped. They do go down again, but this is probably the first, I would say, hard stop we've seen in the entirety of the match.
They're able to get a triple, successfully shutting down that push. And I think what they did there was they left the 52 their own devices, especially on bats, which I get, they're probably looking for some pushes there, but unfortunately they were left alone for too long. And I think that's what cost them. I think that effectively snowballed into what was a triple for the try. But as soon as I say that, both teams go 2 down. Koi is starting to look at a push of their own. They do go 2 down, however. This might be the end for that push. There's one person sharking, but they're gonna have to charge back. And that's gonna be the end of that. As GG Whast'n yet again looking for a response. They do go 1 down to the bomb there. Ooh, that's gonna hurt a little. But
I think the Zap is very crucial there because the Zap is their only armor weapon. Meanwhile, on the side of GG Whast'n, they have 2. So even if one goes down, the other one might be close to armor soon. 1 member jumping out from GG Whast'n. They do have 1 member over by the first checkpoint, but they are getting pushed back into the tree area. Tequila might go after them right now. No, not going to find them. They get taken out instead. Choo-Choo's going to get that kill instead. Zine coming in with a very nice flank here. Gets 1, forces another one back. Actually gets that second pick, which is very, very nice there. Going to move over onto the right stack to try and help the teammate clear out the left tree. Forces 1 to jump out. Not sure if they got that kill or not. A little bit of lag happens in this game sometimes. And this is a very strong position for GG Whast'n. See, Antonia is on that one stack. They have the missiles out, ready to get people as they come out from spawn. Tequila is going to come over to the right side with that Slosher, and this is where the ledges really play into advantage for trying Slosher weapons in general. Armor coming out now for Koi, 1 member jumping back for GG Whast'n. So another good stop from Koi, but they really need to start focusing on that offense. They have, for the most part, shorter range weapons than GG Whast'n, and that's really hurting them right now.
Yeah, as you can see there, GG Whast'n using the range to their advantage, especially that V-Jet there. Again, using that range to their advantage, using whatever range they have to gain the advantage over Koi, and they use it effectively there to stop that push. Now they have 4 specials ready. They could be looking at yet another push as the 52 gals looking at 1 pick, gets 1 pick, able to get 2 down, and they're going to start taking control of plat. This is GG Whast'n's game to lose. They've gotten 3 down on Koi, and well, this is another push we're looking at. The specials are going to start to come out, and this could very well be game over.
And Booyah coming out from the gal right there. You've got members on tower. They're not going to try and make hero play, not able to find the tower on time, so this will be a 3-0 victory for GG Whast'n.
Like you said, they're using that range to their advantage, especially when it looked like Koi was going to be able to try to get in a decent push there. Unfortunately, Koi just wasn't able to find those openings, wasn't able to find that kind of play that they needed. The try was doing a great job with the picks, able to shut down pushes when they needed to, but it's just unlucky for them. They weren't able to find the opening that they needed. But great job to both teams. GG Whast'n taking it home in round 2 with a complete sweep.
Yeah, our next match isn't ready yet, but we have some very important talking points for all of you. Friday Night Frenzy Season 4 is kicking off this Friday, June 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 8 teams are going to battle it out all season to see who will become Friday Night Frenzy 4 champion. All of the matches are going to be streamed and commentated, so be sure to tune in to root for your favorite team. You can follow at FNF_SPL on Twitter and Splatoon Tourney on Twitch to catch the action. And those are the teams on the screen right now. We actually saw Crimson Quake earlier, so they'll be fun to watch. Ocean 7, Chipperme Inklings, Ink Basher, Inks, Acropora, Aquatic Vanguard, and Jelly Squids will be the other 7 that will be joining Crimson Quake in this series.
Absolutely. I think we've got a stellar lineup here. Great teams on every end of this graphic here. And we're going to move on. And next up, Loink is coming up this month. Loink is a 2-day Splatoon tournament. And if you're a lower level player and if you're watching this, sign up. It is by far one of the most exciting events, especially even for those who have never signed up before, even for those who have lots of experience. Definitely sign up. It is absolutely exciting being able to go from groups and knowing that your efforts, knowing how far your efforts are going to get you into day 2. Definitely something to look forward to. June 18th to June 19th. So yeah, make sure to sign up. Make sure to grab your friends, grab a team, and we hope to see you there.
And if you don't have a team, you can join the Discord to see if you want to put in a substitute application to be an official sub. You can also find people in there to do a pickup.
Yeah, and we're going to start moving into our next match. Watercolor Juniors versus Thembo IHOP. I've seen both teams before. I've actually got to play with Watercolor at Low Tide City. So, both of these teams here are, I'd say, at about an equal level. Thembo IHOP might just have the advantage here, might just have a little bit more experience on their hands. What do you think?
Oh, miracle of miracles, I've actually heard of Thembo IHOP! And I have heard of Watercolor Juniors in the sense that I saw them on the Riptide schedule. I think I missed their match, unfortunately. Dan plays Brush, and he is a very good Brush player. Very annoying, which, I mean, you want to be annoying with a Brush. It's a compliment, I swear. Samson, I believe, is a Slayer. Boing is a Splat game primarily. Not sure if they've branched out into V-Jet, C-Jet, like a lot of other backlines have. You played with Watercolor Juniors, so can you tell us a bit about some of their weapons?
What? I think I'm starting to go blank here, but unfortunately, I don't think I've seen Gem here. Which, I mean, last time I saw Gem showed up to a land with a full suit and everything. But I think as far as Watercolor goes, we start to see more of what we've seen from these past teams. But specifically, I think we're seeing, as far as I remember, there's a junior. Which, I mean, go figure. Everyone has a junior at some point. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm kind of blanking.
I would be disappointed if there wasn't a junior. We see the maps here on the screen now. Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard, Clam Blitz, Humpback Pump Track, and Splash Road. Oh, I apologize. Those are the wrong maps. Disregard everything I just said. Let me see if I can pull up the actual map.
Instead, we're just going to start guessing maps.
Well, if the commentators pick the maps, we could decide, do we want to torture them and make them do nothing but Moray Rainmakers? Okay, so we disregard the disregard, and apparently it is supposed to be Sturgeon Rainmaker.
Dang, we aren't choosing maps. But, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at Sturgeon. Yeah, looks like we've got the maps wrong. Looks like they've got the maps wrong. Happens to the best of us, but we're gonna see a quick KO here. But yeah, as far as right now, we can go ahead and start talking about the first set of round 3. Rainmaker and Sturgeon, what do you think we'll see there?
I would love to see Buckets. Damp is in the chat right now and confirms that he's not playing tonight, so we won't be seeing Damp's brush. I do see Bowling on that heavy remix, so it's good to see that not all backlines has swapped over to VJet. I would imagine that they'll probably stick with that.
Yeah,
Seeing that we had a Sploose 7, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Sploose 7. It's become very good for Rainmaker. Samson on that Slosher is going to be interesting. I haven't actually seen him play Slosher before. So that will be definitely fun to watch, especially if he does choose to go with that Kensa sloshing machine rather than, say, Try or Vanilla Slosher.
absolutely, and I think Sloshers in general on Sturgeon, one of the best weapon classes on Sturgeon, just because of the amount of ledges you see there, the amount of ledges, especially on Spinner. Once a Slosher takes Spinner, that could very well be what causes the other team lots of trouble. But Rainmaker on Sturgeon, also a lockout map, so definitely something interesting to see. Something interesting worth a note here as we head into game 1. Rainmaker on Sturgeon is going to start round 3 of what is our pool? Round 3 of our pools. So we're going to start heading into this match right now. Well, Thembo IHOP opting for the V-Jet, K-Shot, Zap, and CDS, while Watercolor is going to go for a K-Shot. Somehow I blinked out on that, but C-Jet, Octo-Shot, and a Sploose 7.
Well, wonders of wonders, we don't see the heavy remix. Not that I blame them, V-Jet is probably the better choice for Rainmaker. So we have the Vanilla Jet Squelcher with the missiles versus the C-Jet with the Ray. Most of the time, the V-Jet's going to win that special matchup just because of missiles being so much more useful than Ray. 2 down on the side of Watercolor Juniors. They're going to come from spawn. Thembo does not grab the Rainmaker there. They're going to focus on getting paint on the map instead, which is smart. You want paint on the map. And with 2 members right by the Rainmaker anyways, it was probably better for them to hold it. Smokey's going to grab the Rainmaker here, rush it for the sponge, which is not a way that you usually see people take. They were going to go for that jump over to the left-hand side of the map, but wasn't able to fully make that. Still though, 70, not bad. Not a winning push though on this map. B is going to pick up the Rainmaker now. Ray is coming out and no missiles online to stop it. The K-Shot does finally get the missiles. Rainmaker going down now. Now 2 to end the splatter shot. Samson has those missiles ready. Not going to use them just yet. Members of Thembo are going to pop that Rainmaker very, very quickly. The Jap is going to go down though to the C-Jet in mid. They really have to unseat that. They can do that in one of 2 ways. They can use the longer range weapons on their team, those being the CDS and the V-Jet, or they can use missiles. Missiles do come out now, going to target people I think on Spinner and one in mid.
Yeah, Thembo IHOP. Ooh, Watercolor Juniors getting a little bit too antsy there. The Ray's being left open. Unfortunately, Samson's not going to be able to reach that in time. Octoshot's able to clean that up. And it looks like they're going to go for another push here, possibly. They do go 2 down. On Thembo IHOP does go 2 down. So it looks like they're going to go for another push. Pixar is going to start taking it. Going to start trying to get some points on the board. They do get the lead there, but it's not going to quite be enough to get it even further. They do have the lead to look forward to, but Thembo IHOP has an opportunity to go ahead and get the convincing push of their own.
Yeah, 57, although definitely in the lead right now, that is not what you would consider a safe push on this map. On this map, you want to see in your 30s at least. They're going to make the jump this time. Boing is not able to survive and get the pick on that C-Jet bow. Pixar is doing very, very well right now with those burst bomb and shot combos. A full wipe on the side of Thembo. Pixar is going to possibly pick up the Rainmaker here to move it out of the way, which is smart because you don't want to see that up there unsupervised. All it takes is one person to sneak in and grab that. 2 specials on the line for Watercolor Juniors. Technically 3, but again, C-Jet has the Rainmaker, so they won't be able to use Stingray to help them in their push like they did last time.
The K-Shot inching ever so closely to that to that missile's Inkjet's able to get a pick though, and it looks like both teams are going to go 3 down now. Actually, Watercolor Jr. is going to go 3 down now. It's all up to the Octoshot, who isn't going to be able to do much. They do get wiped there. Thembo IHOP looking at an opportunity to respond. If they can make that jump, if they can get it all the way up to the right, they could be able to secure the lead here. Samson's going to try to make a move here on the Watercolor Juniors Reborn, able to shut that down almost instantly. Stingray starting to come out from Watercolor Juniors. Watercolor Juniors are doing a great job against Thembo IHOP's pushes, but Smokey trying to look for another way in. Unlucky for them. Actually, may not be unlucky for them because they just might have the opening that they need. They are able to. Can they get the lead? They do get the lead. Pixar
is going to get extended too because they got that jet down. 2 down on the side of Thembo IHOP versus 1 down on the side of Watercolor Juniors. One member is going to jump out, another one's going to back off. It looks like push to 30. That's what you want to see. And with only a minute remaining, they can just switch gears now and focus defense.
Thembo IHOP serving up a 30-point remaining lead, and they might be in a bit of trouble here because they did go 1 down, but Watercolor Juniors needs to make a push here with nearly 40 seconds left on the clock. Stingray is going to start to come out. They do have that Inkjet available. They might be opting for it soon as they're going to go up the window. They've got 3 people ahead of them. They've got all the missiles on Rainmaker. Unfortunately, none of the missiles get him, so it's all up to the Rain, and going 1 down. Can they get even further? They're going to need to get a little bit further in. The miss is going to be right in front of them. They might not be able to. Oh, unlucky there. Watercolor Juniors not able to get the push. They might have another opportunity here. Nope, Thembo IHOP's going to push it farther back, but they might have another opportunity here. They didn't pop it in time. First game's going to go to Thembo IHOP.
That was a really clutch combination between the Toxic Mist and the bombs there. Boeing throwing the mist, and then I believe it was the Junior on the side of Thembo IHOP. I'm not sure who's holding that right now. Not the Junior, sorry, the CDS. AJ throwing that flat bomb to get the pick onto Rainmaker while they couldn't move. That was really dangerous, though, for Thembo. And if Watercolor Juniors had been just a bit more patient, didn't pick up the Rainmaker right away at the end there when they popped it after dying to the bomb mist combo, they might have gotten the lead there for sure. If they had just managed to pick off the jets before grabbing a Rainmaker, that could have been very dangerous for Thembo. But moving on, Clam Blitz Humpback Pump Track. This is a map.
It sure is, and I hope we get to see more of the Toxic Mist here, because especially on Clam Blitz and especially on Humpback, it can be really effective to pushing away any flanks that might happen on, say, your own elbow or on that one wall at the far right. I somehow forgot the name of it, but it's so effective on stopping pushes here. We might even see the V-Jet come out once again, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the CDS either, because again, all these specials here, Rain, you got Ray, all very effective when it comes to Clam Blitz.
I would not say that Ray is going to be very effective on this Clam Blitz stage, but I'm speaking as a backline. I've played Ray on Clam Blitz for a while. It can be very funky here on Humpback, because usually where the backline perches, you don't get the wide sweeping arcs, because you're at a higher plane than where people are standing to throw clams on the clam basket. So it can be very, very, very awkward for defense and even for offense. I would like to see Pixar swap over to the V-Jet.
And we may very well see Pixar swap over to the V-Jet as we head into Game 2 now. Clam Blitz on Humpback. And heavy remix coming out from Boeing. And there's the V-Jet from Pixar, as he called it. And Thembo IHOP's going to opt for the heavy remix, K-Shot, Zap, and the CDS. Watercolor Juniors opting for the triple missile comp here with the Booyah to complement it.
Triple missiles. That is going to be interesting. If you do it right with the missile chains, it can be very deadly. And no matter how well you play it, it's going to be very annoying. but also at the same point in time, they are very reliant on missile chaining to get back in. If they get locked out, it's going to be very hard for them to push out with just triple missiles rather than, say, a Booyah Bomb. You see, Thembo IHOP, on the other hand, has 2 Booyah Bombs, so I guess they took Watercolor Jr.'s Booyah and traded them that. Neither team has a ball yet, although one does have 11 slams on the side of Watercolor Jr., so they could build one. I get the feeling that we're going to see a lot of neutral, and then there's going to be a really big push.
And that's been the story for most of these matches here. Speaking of which, the push might be coming in soon. AJ able to get the push, able to get the pick there with the bomb on the splash wall. One of my favorite ways of getting pushes is just throwing bombs at splash walls. So, good job from AJ. But both teams are going to go 2 down now. Picks are popping out some missiles, trying to get a few more picks there. They do go 2 down now. They do go 3 down now effectively, as Boeing is able to put the end of that V-jet. So Boeing might be able to get another pick here. AJ having to back up a little, but this could be another push for Thembo IHOP as they're able to get some points on the board. The Booyah is going to come out, and let's see what they do from here.
Yeah, B just managed to escape with the skin of their teeth. Smoke is going to come in. We have a good old-fashioned NZAP fight. Not able to win that, though. One of the members of Watercolor Juniors is going to come in. And we have only 80 points on the side of Thembo IHOP. So here's the fun thing about this map. Because this map can be so stally, 80 points could conceivably be a winning push on this map. I would like to see more than just 80, because that's safe. But we have definitely seen matches before where it's 100 to 80 at the end, and we're almost halfway through this match already.
Absolutely. 80 is very volatile on this map. To most people, you might be thinking, oh, that's just 80. You've just given them a free pity. But Thembo IHOP responds with another push, getting it down to 50 points remaining. It's just a zap now, and Zap's going to have to back up, conserve what they could. Oh, just trying not to lose as much as they can. Trying not to lose more than they need to. So Watercolor Junior's going to pop some missiles. Try to get a few more picks in. Try to get an opening. I think actually that's a trade there. So, but they do go 2 down. So this might be. Actually, they're gonna try to get the. They do get a power clam there, but will it be enough to keep it open? Just be at the basket, but that's gonna be the end of that.
Yeah, that's free pity for Thembo IHOP, so if they can get into it, flip it right around and get into a push position, they don't have to worry about building a power. They can conserve the 9 small plants that they have, which would be altogether worth 27 points, now it's 30, and just pick up the pity that they got from the basket pop. Not able to get into an immediate push position, though. 1 down on the side of Thembo IHOP. Missiles coming out now from Reborn on that K-shot. The Gal does have their Booyah ready, and looks like missiles are ready from the V-Jet. Those are going to come out, and they're going to start charging up another one. We are up to, I believe it's 6, 5, 14 missiles on the side of Watercolor Jr. That's a lot of missiles.
And that's what triple missile comps get you. They do go 2 down though. Thembo IHOP effective on the defense there. But as soon as I say that, Boing goes down to Pixar. Pixar are looking for a little bit more there. They do have they are gonna pop the missiles, but it looks like Thembo IHOP has got it locked down for now. Watercolor Juniors do have the clams ready to make a push here. They do have pop the Booyah, and they have 2 more missiles ready. So they could very well be looking at an opportunity here as Thembo IHOP's just kind of keeping it steady, playing it slow, making sure they're able to catch Watercolor should they make the mistake first.
Yeah, missiles coming out now from the NZ following the missiles that came out from the K-shot. The jet goes down, so we will not see a tri-chain of missiles right now. They are in mid. Oh, 2 going down to that bomb. That is huge. They do manage to find the CBS, but a 2-for-1 deal in their favor. That is not something you want to see. B is going to toss that clam back. They are going to try and defend like crazy. Not barely able to find that pick just in time. Another member of Thembo is going to try and come in, and time is bleeding away for Watercolor Juniors. You only have 20 seconds left at the end of a Clam Blitz match, assuming that the score is not 100 to 100. B's going to get a trade on that heavy, but it's going to be very, very hard for them to get to that basket on time.
Yes, as we know all too well, overtime and clams is a very dangerous spot to be in. Like you said, 20 seconds remaining, but that could very well seem like as few as 5 seconds when you're in that much of a rush. But Thembo IHOP's going to pick up the win there. I think they're, especially at the end there, you saw them playing it slow, you saw them playing it steady. Slow and steady won the race here, as Thembo IHOP was able to put the kibosh on the pushes Watercolor Jr. was trying to make.
So moving on, we have Splatoon's Anchovy. I hope that they don't run triple missiles. Could it work? Yes, but we saw in that matchup they had such a hard time displacing people, moving people away, which is really funny when you think about it, since, I mean, it's triple missiles. Missiles are designed to get people to move. But I'm hoping that at least one of them will swap. Maybe there's something with a bomb rush, I think would be very good here. Booyah, very good here. Even Rain, E-Leader makes a killing on this map. I don't think anybody here is going to run an E-Leader. I would love to be proven wrong, but I don't think anybody's going to run one.
Well, very much like to see it as well. We unfortunately don't see too many E-Leaders in comp. I mean, at least I don't, but like you said, Booyah, very well to see something like that there, especially in Splat zones. Armor's probably going to come out. I mean, let's be fair. I think we can definitely see an armor there. I mean, I've seen armorless comps work in zones before, but zones, I believe, is just one of those modes that warrants at least one armor. But we could be very well seeing more of the same from both teams here, as both teams are just kind of deciding what they need, what they're going to pull out here.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Thembo is going to change their comp too much. What they have is working for them, and I can see that comp working very well on the map. Meanwhile, I think that probably Pixar is going to stay the V-Jets. I would expect Reborn maybe to go back to the sploosh they were running in the first game. I think the other two weapons that they were running was okay, and would be okay here. I mean, one of them's a K-Gal. K-Gal's good everywhere.
Absolutely. K-Gal, basically a household name by this point. But Thembo IHOP opting for more of the same, actually. Yeah, we've seen that Booyah, K-Shot, Zap, and CDS, while Watercolor Jr. is going for the K-Shot, V-Jet, K-Gal, and Zap. So they're going to keep a few missiles ready, but Thembo IHOP's going to have the opening push on hand. They are going to get at least 6 points, so they do have a lead. They're going to get some more points on the board, though. Smokey in a fight with a player that I wasn't able to see just yet, but looks like they're going to keep the control of the zone. Actually, Watercolor Jr. is trying to overpaint them, but they do go one down, and Thembo IHOP's going to go straight back to business.
And it's the two members right now on Thembo IHOP going to advance on that K-Shot. One of them goes down, but the other one cleans up behind him. That's why you want to get into 2v1s, with you being a part of two, not the one. Booyah coming out now, forcing the three members of Thembo still on the field to back up onto their fan. This is going to provide an opportunity for Watercolor to get in. Missiles coming out, armor coming out. Inkstorm also came out from AJ, which is going to help keep paint on the zone. You see another 2v1 on the fan right there. Smokey helping get that assist this time, rather than being the one to get the kill. One down on each side of the field, and the first zone flip for Watercolor Jr., so that's going to put a hefty 51-second penalty on the side of Thembo.
Yeah, Thembo IHOP does have a little breathing room there to work with, but they do have that penalty should they get the zone back. So Watercolor Jr. just has to make whatever they can of this push and try to get as much as they can, because again, they also have breathing room as well with that 51-point penalty. Quite of a hefty deal there for Thembo IHOP.
Yeah, one down on the side of Watercolor Jr. as well, so even though that second bomb doesn't explode in the zone, not going to explode in time to prevent that zone flip. That's going to put a 35-second penalty on Watercolor Jr. One down on each side of the field, being the K-Shots on each team. Novi's going to try and advance here a little bit to see if they can pick off the V-Jet. Not able to do that. Really, Boy needs to be able to be the one to move up and pick them off. Booyah is going to come out to try and find them. Not able to. Instead, it looks like it got the end zap. Femi's going to push up on Boing now, and they are in a very vulnerable position on the ground there. You never want to be on the ground that close to the action as a backline, because it's dangerous. Everything can kill you so much faster they can. Penalty points gone for Thembo IHOP now as it gets down to 20 seconds remaining. Watercolor Juniors really need to start moving now.
Absolutely, Thembo IHOP's just going to start chipping away at the lead there, slowly but surely getting to that KO, but Watercolor Jr. is going to start taking some positions. Hopefully they can try to turn this into a lockout, or try to make this retake very difficult for Thembo IHOP, but they are going to start popping out some missiles, start using some of their specials at hand. They still have 2 of them ready. The rain's going to start to come out. And they're going to start trying. They have taken control of Arcade. Watercolor Jr. is now at 28 points remaining. Can they keep it alive for the lead? Unfortunately, they can't. So Thembo IHOP's able to take it 3-on-1, but Freeborn is able to jump out. Look at that. Samson's able to take a pick. 2 down on Watercolor Juniors. Unlucky end there, but Thembo IHOP is going to get a successful retake there. They take control of Arcade, something you absolutely want to take control of on this map.
Yeah, 3 members down, going to get targeted by those missiles from Samson, and I'm certain that they called out the 1 member of Watercolor Jr. that was flanking for his window. This was all on Samson now. Not going to be able to find the pick on the Zap. One of the teammates got it. They are rushing into zone now, just barely able to get that clip in time. A 1-point lead for Thembo. Somebody's going to try and pick off member or up Thembo on the fan. Not able to hit that victory over Smoky. Missiles coming out from, looks like K-Shot launched those. Another member going down on the side of Thembo. Make that 3 down on the side of Thembo. That is a very, very dangerous position for them. Watercolors now is going to really push up and get that Arcade. They want to get the plat. Maybe have one person kind of lurk over by the window area to make sure that there's no cheeky little flanks coming into mid to cap the zone while everybody is occupied. 2 members on each team have specials. They have a missile and a booyah ready. Missiles coming out from the VJet, booyah coming out from the Gal. I think that might be a little bit early. They do manage to find one, but armor and booyah are now coming out, and missiles as well from Thembo. They waited for those specials to get down. Not able to find anyone except for the K-Shot. It looks like people are painting for their life. Bombs are coming out, just barely able to get that cap in time. 2 members going down on the side of Watercolors. That was dangerous there for Thembo.
Painting like the Gordon Ramsay of the paint world was watching them. Both teams looking for to control the zone there, especially at the end. But Thembo IHOP able to come back, and Thembo IHOP looked like they were in a precarious position multiple times during that game. And it looks like there were at times where Watercolor looked like they may have gotten a huge opportunity there, especially when Thembo IHOP went 3 down near at the end. But again, Thembo IHOP able to do what they've been doing the last few games. That's just playing it steady, making sure they got the specials for when they need to, and making sure they have everything ready when they needed to, and just letting them make the mistake.
Yeah, so the pools are over now. We get to take a break while we wait for Top Cut to get started.
Absolutely. And make sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back with Top Cut. Hello and welcome back to SOS 70, first of the month. We're going to go moving into Top Cut now with our first match coming up, Rising Wave versus Tyfart. Totally not Typhoon. Seems to be an exciting set to see here.
Yeah, so Rising Wave's been around for a while. We saw them back when SOS was in, its 20s and its 10s. Back when it was young. Really strong team. Morsa used to be on Prop Save, which people might better know by the name as Loki Esports, back when that was a team. Nikaido, Cam, Dank, very good players. I'll be honest, I think the only one I recognize on Tyfart is Lou, and I think that might be a Bamboo player.
If our Typhoon, or I guess Tyfart, has seen a dramatic rise from where they were first time I saw them. I remember when they were in Ludi as I believe Div 7, Div 8. I think it was Season 11, but they were like Div 7, Div 8, and just a rise here. They're up here. Great White and SOS fighting a Div 3 team in Rising Wave. Quite a rise for them, so they're definitely more than capable of taking the fight to them.
Yeah. Hopefully we will be able to see maps soon. This is it. Here they come. Tower Control, Manta Varia, Rainmaker, Snapper Canal, and Claim Blitz Piranha Pit are guaranteed. Beyond that, Blackstone's Inkbot Art Academy and Tower Control on Starfish will depend on the score of the game. It's the first to 3 who wins here. No more play all 3, so every loss is going to hurt that much more.
Absolutely, and speaking of the set, first up is Tower Control on Mana Maria. We've seen Mana Maria matches here, and it looks like, what we've seen before, we've seen combinations of rays, missiles, and Tower Control is no stranger to missiles. What can we expect to see here, Shads?
Rays, missiles, armor. Jokes aside, if I remember correctly, Morsa plays Mini. We could potentially see a double Splatling comp, a Mini and a Nautilus from Rising Wave. I'm pretty sure that they've run that in the past before, which would be very interesting. Inkjet could be very good for clearing out the bunker and map area on this map. Not really sure what we're going to see from Tyfart. Clusters are good here, we mentioned that earlier. Rollers can be to a certain extent if you're very good at ledge camping, but it's not as a slam dunk as it would be on, say, Mako Mart. A blaster would be interesting. We don't see blasters too often. It's a far cry from S1 where blasters were actually good in comp. It would be interesting to see a Rapid or even a Grim here. I'm not sure if we'll see it though.
I believe last time I remember Chase was a pro player. I believe we might be seeing more of that coming up as we head into game 1. Like tower control on Mana Maria, and comps from both teams. Rising Wave opting for the K-Gal, K-Shot, beat C-Jet, and the Rapid Pro Deco. Tyfart going for the K-Shot, K-Machine, Zap, and the Nautilus to complement all of that, as we see openings from both teams opening up with their specials quite fast, actually. But see, with Array and the Booyah coming out, they're going to start rushing. Actually, they're not going to start rushing the left plat, but both teams go 2 down now. Tyfart is going to have the opening play, get a few points on the board, but that's going to be the end of that very short push as Rising Wave starts to make their way towards the checkpoints.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised to see the Rapid here, but Rapid on the tower is going to be very, very good at clearing out the left to the bunk, getting up over the providing wall right by the second checkpoint. Rising Wave isn't actually going to get many points off of this push either, though. They did get it down to 67, got past the first check, which is important. Chase is going to get that Rapid. Never want to be in a close quarter fight for Rapid. And the C-Jet is going to jump out, which is smart. I want to preserve that Ray as much as possible. One down on the side of Tyfart. Whistles coming out from the same team. They're not going to be able to break the checkpoint bow on this push.
Yeah, Rising Wave able to get at least 1 checkpoint in, and they're going to start popping a few specials out, trying to get another opening as Tyfart is able to pop the Jet as well. They do have a splashdown and now an armor ready, but one player seems to be in trouble. The K-Shot goes down, and Rising Wave is now at a numbers advantage here as the K-Machine is going to try to make something happen. Unfortunately, isn't quite able to, but Rising Wave able to get that push going once again, making their way towards checkpoint 2, popping out some missiles, and it looks like they're going to be kind of stalling. They're going to be stalling in for a little bit here, but they are going to try to get that push going once again. A trade comes out between the Knot and the K-Shot. The C-Jet goes down, and it looks like we're going to see a little bit more to neutral battle as both teams are 2 down once again.
Yeah, 2 down, make that 3 down on the side of Tyfart, though. Can they get the 4th? Yes, they can. So that is a delayed wipe on the side of Tyfart. That's going to be very, very hard for them to get back, right? He's coming out. Cam is positioned on the left in a very strong position for that Rapid, able to pick people off before they can get up to him. And you can see that he's really shutting down the members of Tyfart just by being up on that side, even though he's not getting any picks yet. Nick is going to have those missiles ready, launching them on the 3 on the dividing wall. One does go down on the side of Rising Wave, but Nick's going to quickly get a pick to make numbers even. Kachin is going to drop, forcing a splash down onto Nick. Nick's going to go down to the splash down and one of the teammates, but down 34 points. They broke the first 2 checkpoints, so it's just going to be a straight snowball from here on out if Rising Wave can get another push going.
I believe Rising Wave may be able to get that push going. They have the wall on the tower, so that's going to cause a bit of an issue for Tyfart, but as soon as I say that, they do get 1 down. Tyfart may have put an end to that push, so Rising Wave is going to start trying to get yet another pick. Maybe to look at something for something in the bunker. Unfortunately, that Rapid Pro is going to have to back up. They do find 2 at the cut. They do get 1 of them. Zap is able to get a pick there, but Tyfart is going to be trying to make that push as members from Rising Wave start to jump out. One's in their street. Isn't quite able to get to pick there, but that K-Machine has a splashdown ready should they need it. The Ray is going to start to come out, push some people off of the tower. Rising Wave using a lot, getting very effective on defense here as they're able to stop multiple pushes from. And as soon as I say that, they do go 1 down to the K-Shot. The K-Shot, I think they may have gotten 2 down there, or they may have been someone else, but so far, Tyfart might be looking at convincing push here.
Yeah, no, people on Rising Wave are not very close to their specials, and the Gal did go down as well. So that, of course, makes the numbers not in their favor. Inkjet coming out from Chase now. Prophet is over on the left side, preventing anybody from flanking in. Lead is going to shift in favor of Tyfart with only 20 seconds to go. One down on side of Tyfart. So things are going to quickly probably move back into a more neutrally game, but Rising Wave is going to really have to push here now, though. They have to get it all the way to 25, which is not an easy feat on this map, especially given that choke point right where the tower starts moving down into the pit by spawn. Stingray coming out, missiles coming out now from Tyfart to counter that Ray. Both sides still have all their players remaining. One member of Tyfart is going to come across the cut, not able to get picks on anyone. Missiles coming out now from the K-Shot. Nikaido is going to stay on the tower right now, dives to the suction bomb launched by Zeal, who's going to hop on that tower. So really that match, you had domination from Rising Wave for the first 4 minutes, and then Tyfart managed to find their moment, their opportunity to get that lead, and make it really hard for Rising Wave to have enough time to get a lead change back in their favor.
Yeah, you can see in terms of KA, Rising Wave had the advantage for most of the match, but Tyfart able to get that one push that got them straight to where they needed to be at the end there, and I think that's exactly where they wanted them, making Rising Wave having to play for a desperate push, especially in overtime there, where Rising Wave is going to start being a little bit more risky as they want to get that tower going. They want to get that lead because they've been doing so well, and especially when you get into overtime, you start to play a little bit more risky there. You start to make those desperation plays. But we are going to head into round 2 now. Rainmaker on Snapper Canal. I just had someone in my DMs yelling at me saying, no, Chase plays not. And you know what? I may have made a mistake there, but now we found out.
Chase did play the Not there and did a very, very good job of it. And Not is going to be very good here on Rainmaker as well. So there's 2 main ways to push the Rainmaker. You can either take it to the far left and the far right area of the map in almost kind of useless-y areas almost. And it's just a slower way. It's also, you could make the argument, the safer way. The not safe way is to take it straight up the street into the spawn, and then you have everybody and their mother shooting at you from the snipe. We don't talk about going through the sneaky, because going through the sneaky almost never works. And when it does work on stream, everybody decides that it's a really great idea and starts doing it, and then it fails a lot.
Something about the Rainmaker and it being a little bit more visible to all of your opponents just makes it that less effective. But it's gonna be interesting to see the strategies from both teams now as we head into game 2. Rainmaker on Snapper Canal, as Rising Wave is going to look for a response to that win there by Tyfart, as Rising Wave in the green, tealish, and Tyfart in the purple. Rising Wave going for a mini, K-Shot, Junior, and a C-Jet, so that's I believe triple missiles actually. And
no, it's only quad. It's only double.
You said only quad, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Only quad missiles, only in solo queue. Meanwhile, on the side of Tyfart, we see a Squeezer. A Squeezer is going to be very good here. It's a long-range shooter weapon. It has very good kill power, and the bubble combos that you can do to get enemy team down really quickly. It can also clear the map very quickly. But if you don't pop the bubbles, if you use the bubbles in the street, you can actually protect the Rainmaker from shots from above. One down on each side of the field. Morse is going to fight Crazy Cat with that Jet Splitter. Not able to get the pick there. And Tyfart will be the first to pick up the Rainmaker. They're not going to get it too far, though. They're going to get it to 71. Looks like the Ray probably got that pick.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see most of what we saw at the beginning of the last match, which is just both teams trying to get some pushes in, trying to eat away at their leads little by little. But as soon as I say that, Tyfart does get one down on Rising Wave. They do have an advantage, but isn't going to last long as they come out of spawn. Tyfart does have the armor ready should Rising Wave opt for actually Tyfart has the armor ready should Rising Wave opt for another push, but Tyfart so far with the advantage, and they might be going for yet another push here as there's a K-Shot in trouble. That K-Shot's able to get the pick on the Zap, so now they won't have armor. Rising Wave now starting to make some moves here. Can they get the lead? And they do get one down. They do get the pick to get that advantage. So they could be looking at a potential lead here if they play their cards right. And it looks like they're playing their cards right so far.
Yeah, they definitely are. Nick is going to be in the front, not able to stop the Rainmaker from Thembo. Probably one member of Tyfart snuck in there to get that pick since neither of the two mid players used their special. Rising Wave is going to pick up the Rainmaker again, though, but bombs are going to stop that Rainmaker from going too far. 2 down on the side of Rising Wave. Nick is going to take out the flanking K-Shot that got there, Ray, and Cam is actually in a pretty dangerous position here. Nick's able to help bring one of the people that was shooting at them down. And a lead shift does go in favor of Rising Wave, 41-71, but that is not safe on this map. You want to get it to at least 20, like they just did. And some change, too.
Oh my goodness, they must have had a direct link to our comms because they heard you. They said, you know what, you said 20, we're going to give you 18 remaining. But that was a great teamwork there, especially from the Junior and the K-Shot when the Junior was in a bit of a predicament there, but the K-Shot able to come in to the rescue. As both teams make a look at a trade there. Rising Wave's going to go 2 down. Tyfart looking at potentially another pick here as the Mini's in a bit of a trouble spot here. A little bit cornered, but that's going to end with the Zap taking out the Mini, going for another armor, hopefully getting some more specials on the board. They already have 2 ready. They popped 1. And yeah, it looks like they're going to pop some missiles and see what they can do from here.
Yeah, missile armor training together can be very, very good for pushing in because you have people scattered from the missiles and then you are defended against one-shots with the armor. Tyfart's going to pick up the Rainmaker here, but the Ray is coming out, and unfortunately they have nothing to counter it right now. Neither member of Tyfart that has the missiles is able to launch missiles off on that Rainmaker, so they will go down.
Yeah, and it looks like Tyfart is struggling a little, trying to get the push that they need, but Rising Wave looks like Rising Wave's pushes may have done it for him, but Tyfart's still looking for those opportunities here. The Rainmaker in their hands right now. They do get a pick on the Junior, no armor for them. So they might look for another pick. They do get the pick on the slide. They get 3 down on Rising Wave, but the Ray's gonna come out. That might cause some trouble for them. 20 points now. They get the wipe as well. They might be able to get the lead here, and they just might get the lead here because
here comes the bubbles
starting to come out. They do get the lead, but just barely. As Rising Wave's able to play some defense, unfortunately, it isn't enough for them because they get the KO. Tyfart. Oh my goodness. Just when we thought it may have been... Just when we thought Rising Wave was going to be able to put up a wall to stop them, Tyfart sends it crashing down.
And again, we saw that Rising Wave was very dominant in the early mid parts of the game, but right at the end, Tyfart's just flips the switch and they manage to get the picks that they need and completely stomps all over Rising Wave. So things are dangerous now for our good old friends on Rising Wave. They have to get a reverse sweep if they want to move on to the next round. Tyfart only has to stop them one more time. Clan Blitz, though, anything can happen on Clan Blitz, and Clan Blitz can be very good for momentum shifts.
And just like you said, Tyfart just finds that ability to flip the switch right at the end. And I think that's what's been getting Rising Waves, that they're able to, they cause one slip up, they immediately go 3 down, and that's what causes them to lose that basically what is the last minute of the man. So Clan Blitz on Piranha Pit. I might expect honestly the same thing from most of the same from Tyfart. I know I saw a squeezer there from Chase earlier, so I think we might see that potentially because especially near the belt next to the basket, that could cause some very dangerous issues there for the opposing team.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Rising Wave is going to do. I mean, Morsa was the one that swapped the weapon the last time around. If anybody's gonna swap, I would guess Morsa would be, because Mini can be very clunky on this map. And we do see that Morsa does swap. Nikaido also swaps away from the Sea Jet to a Nautilus. So they are going full on offense. No more backline, no more anchor. They're just going to go straight on offense. And with the missiles paired with the armor, or the missiles paired with the Inkjet, that's going to be very, very good. Meanwhile, on the side of Tyfart, we see, I think the only change is the K-Shot swapped to a Kensa 52, which Booyah is very good at this map for clearing out the basket area.
Yeah, like you said, the gloves might be off for Rising Wave, but Tyfart might be able to give him the 1-2 punch even at the beginning here. But they do go 2 down, 3 down. Ooh, that push is very unlucky there. They do get wiped by Rising Wave, and Rising Wave is immediately going to be looking at a response here. Going to throw some clams to, I believe it's VDS. VDS is starting to make a push of their own, and everyone's going to start joining in. Inkjet's going to start coming out. They do have some specials ready. They popped the missiles earlier. They get 1 down, 2 down effectively. So no arm. I think they popped off the armor just in time, but
yeah, they did pop off the armor just in time before they died, which really helps their teammates up top stop that push before it gets too dangerous. Because Rising Wave did have a lot of clams there. The Nautilus alone was carrying 7, and I believe they had at least another person with 4. That's a hefty amount of points right there.
Ooh, nice pick there for the bomb by their junior. Both teams 2 down now. The K-Gal giving them a run for their money. Oh, but they do get a power clam in. Just snuck right past them. They're going to get a few more points on the table. Up to 64 remaining. A little bit of a sneaky play there by Rising Wave, but Tyfart's able to clean that up before it gets any worse for them. They do get another pick on Rising Wave. They are looking at hopefully responding to him with a bigger push of their own. Booyah Bomb and Missile starting to come out as they start to get inching ever so closely to the basket, and they do get picked. Can they get the nod as well? They do get the nod as well. And, well, that's just unlucky for them.
On the side of Tyfart. And they're going to, and members of Rising Wave now are going to rush in. You can see that Morsa's got 9 clams. Their teammate's going to toss of 1. Building a ball right at the basket is very useful. And then one member is going to jump out. So this will give Tyfart another pity. They'll have 40 points worth between those two little clams, between the one that Veal's holding and the one that Veal's standing right next to. But that's not really going to help them too much if they can't get to the basket. Another member is down, and Veal is very backed up here. 3 down, though, on the side of Rising Wave, so this is where Tyfart has to move. You can see that the last member of Rising Wave, Junior, is rushing back towards the basket to try and delay them as much as possible. Not able to find a pick there. I mean, it's a Junior. Juniors are not known for their killing power. They rely on bombs. A lead shift will go in the favor of Tyfart, but they're only up to 54, and the only member of clams is back in mid, so they're going to have to run in. It looks like Veal will get more clams in before they go down to 42 points remaining for Tyfart. 2 down on the side of Tyfart. Meanwhile, 1 down on the side of Rising Wave. Crazy Cat not able to find the pick there. So 3 down on the side of Tyfart will bring that push to an end.
And it looks like this has been the same story for the last few games, where we'd see one team get a convincing lead on the other, and then the other team would just go for a monumental push. And it looks like Rising Wave might be in for another, but they do have 1 down. Actually, both teams are now 1 down. So it could be Rising Wave's time to shine here with 2 power clams ready. One of them does go down. 2 of them near the what is our right belt from the camera, but they're trying to try to. Unfortunately, you can't save that clam just in time. Rising Wave still looking at 1 clam ready. Maybe Rising Wave can turn the tables here, and instead they might be able to be the ones making the monumental push at the end. But it looks like they're gonna be in a little bit of a struggle here.
Well, it's 45 seconds remaining, plus the extra 20 seconds of overtime, because there usually is overtime with clams. Armor going out on the side of Tyfart, and missile coming out from the side of Rising Wave. That's going to chase people away from the basket. 1 down on the side of Tyfart. And Rising Wave has a lot of clams, so if they can get this power in, they do 2 down on the side of Tyfart. Can we get another person down on their team? Yes, they do. Nikaido coming around behind, using that little block there to stop the bubble from killing them. He's going to jump out. That's very smart. You want to stay alive at this point because there are 15 seconds remaining, plus the aforementioned overtime. And Rising Wave is going to have to make a very big push here. They have 29 penalty points. That is one big clan plus 3 little clans that won't even chip away at their score. Then they have to make just under 30 points to get the lead, and they're 3 down, so I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They have people respawning. The last member does pick up the power clam, but they've got to be at least 10 seconds left at this point, and he goes down. Another member is very backed up into their spawn. 3 down on the side of Tyfart. This is going to be Rising Wave's first win of the set.
And just when you thought Tyfart was going to be able to pull that last minute magic that they had, that ability to just pull a trick up their sleeve, or a 3 down, a wipe, and Rising Wave was able to answer the call. They actually got a triple on their own. So Rising Wave was able to respond before that got any uglier for them, and they were able to stop them from getting any semblance of a push. They were able to stop that power clan from becoming any more dangerous, just shutting that down, whoever came up to it, and effective defense there by Rising Wave. We may be looking at potentially a reverse sweep. Yeah.
Maybe. Well, they'll have to do Splatoon's Inkling Art Academy first. So this one, not like the other Inkblot ranked modes, there's a big tower in the middle rather than the 2 smaller towers on the side. That's going to be great for any backline to perch on, and since we know that Nikaido and Crazy Cat can both play backline weapons, they're going to probably be angling to take control of that. Morsa could swap over to the mini again. It paints very, very well, but it can also be a bit funky playing around that tower with the mini versus, say, a more mobile painting weapon like, say, Junior and NZAP. Not really sure what they're going to do. I would expect Nick to stay on K-Shot. They seem to be playing that a lot. Meanwhile, on the side of Tyfart, I don't really think we're going to see much of any change. Maybe Chase will swap off to Nautilus. Maybe. Not sure. I don't really expect anything drastic on their side, though.
We could still very well see the Booyahs coming out. However, actually, no, not however, but, I could very well see those come out as well. But, of course, like you mentioned, as much as we might not see many changes coming out from both teams, but Rising Wave able to actually, make most of the same from both teams, actually. Rising Wave going for VDS, K52, Junior, and VJet, and Tyfart going with a VJet of their own, plus a Zap, K-Gal, and a Nautilus for that added bit of range.
Yeah, so the only change that we see is Nikaido swapping off of the Notch to the VJet. Both teams have an anchor. It is actually very much, looking at these two teams, something that you would expect from a prior meta rather than one that is solely focused on pretty much missiles and armoring your opponent to death. Rising Wave is going to get the first cat. Nikaido is going to take that top mid area, which is very, very much fun to hang out on if you're a backline. They're going to be forced off onto the ground with the missiles, which is really going to be the missiles' main job here on this map, making sure that whoever's on that center tower gets keywords. You can do it with the Booyah and Inkjet 2 as well, which have both come out for the side of Tyfart, but they aren't able to find anyone. Missiles on Morsa over on the right tree, 2 down on the side of Tyfart. Chase is starting up another Inkjet very, very quickly, but it's going to be a while before he has it, just by the fact that Nautilus does not paint as well as it could.
Yeah, it looks like Tyfart's gonna get some specials going. You do get some missiles popped off. However, Rising Wave is coming very close to the KO there, but they do respond with the Booyah. They are going to be able to get some paint down. Is it enough? It might not actually be enough. Rising Wave may be able to turn the tide here. 16 points remaining. It's up to the K-Gal. Isn't quite able to get a pick there, but they do get the nod nonetheless. Rising Wave responding to the call. 2-2 now. Oh my goodness me. That was quite the KO there. Rising Wave says, you know what? We're going to turn the table here. We're going to give you a run for your money, and we're going to take this to a game 5.
Going to turn the tides.
Ah.
That definitely, though, was pretty much a clinic on how you want to play this map. If it was a different map, you could probably make the argument that when Tyfart was trying to get that cap right at the end, they would have gotten it. The tower in the middle makes it so hard to get a cap. I'm sure everybody's played where if it was like I don't want to use Anchovy as an example because it's such a small zone, but like say Wahoo for example, or even the Reef, where you would have gotten the cap, and just because there's this big tower in the way, it blocks your shots and you can't paint as well. So game 5, tower control on Starfish. This is gonna be fun.
Absolutely, and I think, well, so far from what I've seen, I'm not expecting too many changes here. If anything, I might see the squeezer come out from Tyfart again. Might. Because, especially on street, bubbles can become quite a bit of a hassle, but I'm not expecting too many changes. I think the comps that they have right now are certainly going to be comps that they can work with here, but I don't know. What do you think?
Not really sure. I mean, bubbles can work very well in the street, but at the same time, so much of the fighting takes place in the more open areas of the map, in mid, over by the second checkpoint, in the pit where you're above or in the pit. I'm not sure how well bubbles will work in general. I would love to be proven wrong, though. Doesn't look like that'll happen today, though. Crazy Cat is going to drop the backline in favor of, looks like, a sloshing machine, and he's actually running Ability Doubler, which is not an ability you see in comp that often. Meanwhile, on the side of Rising Wave, we see a Junior now instead of, I believe it was an NZAP last game. But other than that, no changes for them. And mid is slowly but surely turning blue. Tyfart will get the first special off in the form of the missiles. Splashdown coming out now from the aforementioned machine. 2 down on the side of Rising Wave. The other 2 members are going to be pushed back into the pit. The K-Sheen will go down. Cam is 8, not able to find the pick on the K-Shot bow.
Yeah, and Tyfart now with 3 specials available. They're going to pop 2. They're going to pop all of them off. Inkjet with armor, a deadly combination there. And they get past checkpoint 1. They get another pick now. The Rising Wave looks like they're in a lot of trouble here. But they might, yeah, they do get the pick here on the K-Shot. So now they might be turning it around. And actually, they did get 3 down on Tyfart. And just before Tyfart's able to get to that second checkpoint, Rising Wave's able to put the stop to that push. Just when things were starting to look a little bit like more of like a struggle for Rising Wave, they were able to respond to that call, and it looks like we're going to get a push from them coming up soon.
Yeah, past the second checkpoint on Starfish Tower is generally considered very good, because that's just when it gets snowbally. 2 down vote on the side of Rising Wave. Firstly, I believe is that Inkjet. And again, the 2 members surviving on Rising Wave are forced back to the pit spawn area. That's not good for them. They want to be able to hold on to mid and keep it blue. They don't want it green. Missiles coming out now from Tyfart. You can see it on the 2 on the snipe. And that's going to force a couple people right over into the right-hand side of the map, where the splashdown will do some chip damage. Not able to find anybody with that splashdown. But again, 2 down on the side of Rising Wave. You can make that a delayed 3rd down as well.
Yeah, it looks like Tyfart's going to keep their foot on the pedal, because they're able to keep it right in mid, able to keep Rising Wave backed up to where they can start to cause a lot of damage in mid, and they start to pop some specials out. The Booyah Bomb and the Inkstorm's going to come out from Rising Wave, actually. So they do get, Tyfart's able to get 1 down. Actually, Rising Wave gets 3 down on Tyfart, and they might be looking at a wipe here, but they're going to back out before it gets any more difficult for him, as Rising Wave is going to start inching closer and closer to those checkpoints. And this is the push that they're going to need soon enough, because there's only 2 minutes remaining on the clock. They still have a lot of time to work with, but it looks like they may have the push that they've been looking for here, as they get down to 56 points remaining, and they're going to get inch ever so close to the tower. They might just cruise into checkpoint 2, and they're going to cruise into the lead as well. They might be able to clear checkpoint 2 as well, and they do, and things are going to start to look a little bit more of a struggle for Tyfart.
Yeah, we haven't really seen them too much during this last push, but Nick has been up on that top left area. They just unfortunately went down to 2 members of Rising Wave. They really helped distract the members of Tyfart to prevent them from going after the tower as aggressively as they could. Well, very, very good on this map. You don't typically see tower get to the 3rd checkpoint on Starfish main stage. Usually you see it somewhere between the second checkpoint and maybe about halfway to the third. So getting it to 12, that's going to be hard. The flip side, well, it's also snowball territory. So once you get past that second checkpoint, it is going to start moving like crazy. One down on each side of the team. Morse is in trouble on the right. One member of Tyfart is in their attic area. Very good position to be in for a flank. They're going to drop back into mid, so not able to find anyone on the flank. And now Morse is going to take the attic instead.
If you're starting to see a little bit of deja vu, it's not just you. Rising Wave with the convincing lead so far, but remember, Tyfart was able to pull off that last-minute magic in the first two games, not quite on Clan Blitz Piranha, but it looks like they might be going for another bit of last-minute magic here. They're going to try to get the pick, and they do. They're one down on both sides now. The Cave Machine in a bit of trouble now, two down on both sides. Jet Sculpture able to clean that up nice and tidy. So now they're going to start moving into the second checkpoint. They need that second checkpoint now. But they're going to go one down and the Jet Sculpture is going to back up. We're going to start looking at the Junior here throwing bombs. Trying to get a pick from there. 5 seconds left on the clock. This game's going to be going to overtime as the Inkjet gets a pick on the Junior.
And members of Tyfart are very close to the special missiles come out. They do manage to get the ink armor out and into the snowball territory. One down on each side. Looks like things are going to get close. Crazy Cat is forced to use their splashdown to try and survive that Fuya, but they are not able to do it. Rising Wave will take the reverse sweep.
And just when we thought Tyfart may have had their number there, they were starting to get those 3 downs. They were starting to get those crucial picks that they needed. Rising Wave, yet again, able to complete the reverse sweep against Tyfart to take this set. Look at that. And, I mean, I kept talking about that last minute magic we saw from those first 2 games. Unfortunately, Rising Wave knew exactly what was coming up when they knew about that last minute when they saw that last minute magic on the last 2 games. So great job there from Rising Wave responding to the call, but great job from Tyfart as well. Great stuff from both teams.
Yeah, so with that set done, our time on the mic is done as well because we have 2 other people who are very eager to get in here and do some talking. So before we go, Nito, where can the good people find you?
Alright, I'm on Twitter at NitoUnused, Twitch at NitoSplat. I'll stream once every while, and you can probably find me at your local 80 Anns. I love the cinnamon sugar pretzel nuggets. Where can we find you, Shads?
Yeah, you can find me at ShadowDragon42 on Twitter. I'm in the IPL Discord with the name Shads. You can feel free to chat with me in there, and then I also occasionally do stream, not Splatoon unfortunately because I don't have a capture card, at IV_Shads_. We will be right back with your new commentators, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Pride Month here at IPL, and we are bringing you SOS number 70. I am Shads, joined by Nito, and we are very excited to bring you guys a semifinal matchup. Cook Islands, which is, I believe, a country out deep in the South Pacific, taking on GG's. Nito, how you feeling today?
You are Shads joined by Nito, is that so?
That's the script I'm reading. Yes.
Wow.
And also with the mic. Oh wait, no, the mic's been updated. Okay, I'm Pop Gun in your cater. That works.
I'm no longer Nito, I guess, or Shads, or whoever you assign me. Well, I'm doing great, and I'm also very excited to see what these players have to bring, as I do recognize some of the names that we have on the roster. So I like to see these players around. I mean, like you said, it's Pride Month. Happy Pride! Okay, so we're gonna get into semis for, let's take a look at our maps here. Are those the maps? I don't know, I'm seeing conflicting things.
Those are the maps. Those are the maps we're gonna play. But nobody cares about the maps. They want to know about the teams that are going on here. So we got a couple of pickup teams. Like you mentioned, you recognize some of the players. As commentators with these pickups, that's the only thing we have to go off of is who the actual players are. Miner, Nova, Rhythm, Toby, some of the usual suspects here that have been playing on a bunch of variety of pickup teams in multiple SOS tournaments up to this point. Cook Islands, I don't know if they're actually representing the whole country of the Cook Islands, but GG's as well, just coming off of a very clutch Game 5 win against Any Askers, a pickup team that has made consistent second place in SOS in recent memory. So, not too shabby of a run here so far for both of these teams, as we see a Sploosh 7 coming out in a very short-range comp. And there is a C-Jet. Never mind.
Yeah, almost totally short range, but we do have the C-Jet, of course. It's Blackbelly Raymaker, you know. You gotta have the immediate Ray, and they might get a pick with that. Not quite, although there were quite a lot of markers on that. And of course, we do have a lot of buckets, seeing that this is Blackbelly Skate Park. That is to be expected. We have a soda, a vanilla, and a vanilla try, so a good variety that we're seeing here.
A good idea from GG's on that opening that they pulled out there, firing the Stingray first, waiting for the Stingray to run out, and then firing off armor, but didn't really do anything with either one of those specials. Instead, they took the first L, but ultimately able to build up yet another Stingray to shut down that push. So no harm, no foul, even though their opening plan didn't really work out the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, they did get a couple of picks after that too, and we have the Bomb Rush from the Soda coming out as well, probably to put down a little bit more ground. Cook Islands is going to fire off those missiles, scattering GG's a little bit, but they still have a good presence in mid, although that pop is going to go to Cook Islands. But the Sploosh going down means that they will lose a little bit of that front force, especially with the try kind of trapped back here by that Ray.
You know, Cook Island's very aggressive comp that they're coming out here with, and, well, they're going to have to find some way to play a little bit of defense here with two players down. But their comp is kind of built for being very aggressive, getting a lead and keeping the Rainmaker deep on the enemy side of the map. But if GG's can find a way to get a decent lead right here, they have a little bit of a better time holding on to it just because they'll have this Ray spam. This player very, very comfortable with the idea of building up as many Stingrays as possible as fire them off here. And they got a decent chance of trying to get some sort of credible points on the board here.
Yeah, I think the combination of the bomb picks and someone went out to get the pick unfortunately does take out that Rainmaker probably a little bit earlier than they would have liked it to be. They did get GG's. They did get the lead there, but not by much. So it would be very, very possible for Cook Islands to put together another push here and get it back. They're gonna let that Rainmaker reset. We have a 3v3 situation right now as sloshes are down on both sides. We do have the Ray here from the C-Jet. Don't know if they're gonna instantly pop it or maybe save it for a little bit of a better situation, but like you said, they're very comfortable with the idea of just spamming those rays as C-Jet tends to do here.
Well, I mean, why not? You're just going to get another one in the next 10 seconds either way. Now, these rays aren't really accomplishing anything because they're not really combining the rays with anything, but they're trying to just initiate something, get players a little bit out of place, even though they're not really getting splats. Just because, again, they know they're going to get one again in the next kind of opening seconds here. 2 players down with the Rainmaker, nowhere for them really to go as Miner able to clean it up. But man, 3 minutes gone by. Essentially a tie game. No team has gotten off a legit push yet on this map.
Yeah, it's very slow in relative to, you know, the regular Black Belly Rainmaker you see where it gets very high scoring very quickly. So this is a bit of a different story though. That Rainmaker is just going to chill out there and will reset back to mid. So we're kind of back to square one, although both teams do have specials. We have the bomb rush, the armor, the missiles. All of those are going to come out at once. And still that Rainmaker is untouched because really nobody wants to pick it up right now.
Well, I mean, you pick it up, there's not really anywhere to go.
Yeah,
except for now. Okay, now the Stingray's gone, and it's the last player left alive. This is going to be some serious damage here for Cook Islands as they finally bust through the barrier. Players jumping back in, jumping right in front of the Rainmaker, able to slow it down for a little bit, but still 13 points remaining, and some more on top of that. Rhythm able to not really keep this push going any further, but it's still going to be a little bit of a nuisance right here. Damage done. Finally, The dam burst. It took about 4 minutes, but somebody finally got a legit push off.
Yeah, all the way down to 6, and still, though, very, very possible considering the nature of this map to be really high scoring to just go that far into the enemy base. So really the only safe push here is a KO, although with only 35 seconds left on the clock, it is going to be a lot more difficult for GG's because they basically have 1, maybe 2 shots at this push before game over.
Yeah, and their comp isn't really built for this situation. They're not built to come back with a huge deficit into overtime because now they got now you got players flanking all around. With Cook Islands has this lead, they have more flexibility to do whatever they want instead of just kind of turtling up and trying to break through that Stingray. So yeah, I don't really see a path for GG to get a win right here. And really that one push that they were able to get off right there, it really came down to the fact that they keep using those Stingrays early, using the Stingrays for offensive reasons as opposed to just kind of shutting down the Rainmaker pushes with them. So they fired that Stingray, and while they were firing it, 3 of their teammates went down, and then they picked up the Rainmaker, and then they had no Stingray to work with. So just the aggressiveness with that Stingrays didn't really translate to anything, and when they needed it the most to shut down the only push of the entire game, they just didn't have it ready to go.
Yeah, unfortunate, but sometimes it does just play out like that. For our second match of the set, we'll be moving on to Clam Blitz on Mako Mart. So this one, I find it, like, on paper, it would play out really quickly, especially because of, like, how close that basket is to mid, but even though you could just run in and score, you have to have a good amount of control in order to keep that push going, and so it doesn't play out as fast paced as it seems like it would. Well,
talking about the map in relation to the 2 teams that are actually playing right now.
That's
honestly, if you're Cook Islands, you could just take the same comp you just ran and run it here. I mean, it might not be optimal, but it's still going to work. Try Slosher. Regular Slosher,
I mean,
keep
try
the
works
aggression
fine
going
here
up.
on Mako. You have all the ledges to work with, all the slopes. It's not going to be at a deficit. Nothing really is at a deficit here.
And if you are GGs and you do want to stay back, maybe switch over to VJet this time around, get some more missiles, keep the other team chasing, put a little bit more paint down. There's, I don't see, neither team really has to change too much here from what they were trying to do. Just a little bit of a different mode change is going to work out. Also, I do want to point out, somebody in chat pointed out what their actual IGN is. We as commentators are only going to read the names that are on the screen. If they wanted to be known by their actual names, they would have called themselves their actual names. So,
yes,
Raygo Hiss is what we're sticking with.
Unfortunately, we are not going to go name hunting for a set.
That is a commentator nightmare, so we're not messing with that.
Yeah, it's just...
Regardless, game 2.
Yeah, game 2 indeed. We will see if those comps hold true. Yeah, there is that swap to the V-Jet. We have a brush coming out as well as that Octo Shot, so that Ink Brush Nouveau is going to run around a lot. Those ballers probably going to be really useful in pushes as well. And then the V-Jet, like you mentioned earlier, those missiles are going to be super useful. I mean, you can already see them going off, as well as the mist. I love the mist on this weapon just because the real synergy that it has with the rest of the kit, and also that the mist is going to be really, really helpful in stopping pushes, or at least slowing them down.
I'm glad that Kraken, our streamer, is muted right now, because probably being really giddy that there is a Ink Brush Nouveau. We can't hear him, and that works out just fine for us. The fastest baller in the game, I believe. The only lightweight baller, unless there's something, maybe Aerospray or something. But still,
I don't know if there's a lightweight.
Gonna have to take advantage of the speed of that Ink Brush Nouveau if they want to try to get something going here.
Well, it looks like they are trying to do just that, although unfortunately the brush going down means they're not going to have that baller or any of that speed if they want to go in, and the Octo Shot going down means they're just going to play it a little bit safer until they can wait for their teammates to come back. They have the armor as well. The brush goes down again, though, and before they can try and recover from that, there is the power clam from GG, so they get that in, but with 2 down, they have a little bit of presence at the basket, but they're not going to be able to make any follow-up, so it's just the 20 points for now.
Scoring on this map is scary, and you kind of alluded to this. When you pop the enemy basket and you lose too many players during that push, you're not just surrendering mid to the other team that's coming back, you're surrendering a good portion of your side of the map as well. This map is just so smart, and look how quickly Cook Islands just comes right back in here. Yeah, they're going to get lead, but who really cares? Can they get below that 50 mark? And it looks like they do, so a good opening push from them. And they do have a man advantage to keep this going a little bit longer as well.
Yeah, getting it all the way down to 29, and another power clam jumping in, although they don't get that in, unfortunately. That would have been a really, really, really nice push if they did. Still a pretty good place to be in, but of course you can already see all of those clams being collected by GG's in preparation for another push, and they have 2 powers. All of those missiles going to come out, and as long as they can go in, they can get a couple of the picks necessary here. We have the Flings are getting the 1, so that's going to open up the basket for them, and then hopefully they can get the rest of these clams that they have in. There's the missiles, there's a second clam as well, and they have a bunch of smaller clams on them to be able to keep the basket open, but that pick, leaving only the Flings alive, and that pick on the Flings as well, means that although they do get down to 35, it's not quite enough to take the lead.
And GG's, I kind of alluded to this, yeah, Cook Island got to 29 remaining on their opening push, but they got wiped in the process. You saw how quickly that map turned yellow, and now on the flip side, GG's able to get a good push off, not able to get lead, but they got wiped as well, so you see how quickly the map turns to blue. But now 2 more players going down here, so GG's going to get another opportunity to get things going. Still plenty of time left on the clock, but the way that with how many points are getting put up by these pushes, you get the sense that this game is going to end in a KO. Oh, it might be coming sooner rather than later, too.
Yeah, there it is, the full wipe. I mean, I think that was a double bomb pick, was that not? Leaving the door wide open. And
where is everyone?
I don't know. I mean, we have the jump in, Rhythm jumping in with that. We have the brush coming around, but I mean, you expect to see like immediate follow-up with a wipe like that, but I don't know whether they were back or respawning, but the brush managing to get in a couple more clams, taking that all the way down to 12, but that was a lot slower of a response than I usually would expect from a situation like that.
I think they were back at spawn,
that would make sense.
Respawning back there. I like the route that the brush took there, not trying to score from the front, instead going from the back just to drag some players back there as well, working more so as a distraction, but still, again, Cook Island's not able to fully capitalize off of that. Although they do get down to 12 remaining, again, you don't really feel comfortable at all with this lead, especially how back and forth this has been. Even though you got, okay, every time I say that, Cook Islands finds a different gear and just starts walloping people.
Yeah, but they don't have the clams on them. They have the control, but right now they only have 7 clams on them, so now they have the power clam, but they have to maintain that control around the basket, and they don't have that anymore. I mean, they could get it back. They only have 11 seconds. Well, I mean, there are only 8 seconds left on the clock. It's not their concern because they're in the lead. But we have a power clamp. It will go in, so that will open the basket, although losing 2 members in the process is going to make this a lot harder, although it is definitely still possible. And oh, the V-Jet being the only one alive, going to do their best. They get some clams in, but they don't have enough clams on them to make the lead. We have members jumping to them, but they don't have any clams on them, which is going to make this a lot more difficult. So although we do have some picks from GG's at the end, that is still going to be the game for Cook Islands.
That was a legit 15 KA coming out from Nova on the junior. I don't think those were just armor assists. A lot of those seem like straight up bomb kills, especially that huge push they were able to get kind of started because Nova was able to get a double with the splat bomb. Obviously, if you're going to use Junior over Inzap, you need to be really good with how you place splat bombs. Nova's sub weapon, kind of the difference in that game, and why Cook Islands is up 2-0 right now.
Oh yeah, I mean the bomb double, that was really, really nice. Just moments like those are, why you gotta appreciate your support players.
Yeah, I mean you can, if why not? Anyways, Splat Zones, Wahoo.
Oh boy.
I like the fact that GG's is going to be using a pseudo anchor, even though it's the not like a charger or a extended range splatling like a Hydra or something like that. Just having a little bit of distance on a map like this can pay some dividends if you can keep your anchor player safe. But I don't know, the aggression that Cook Islands has been busting out this entire set has been an issue for GG's to deal with. And again, I don't think they're gonna bring out that ink brush again. I think that was more of just a niche situation for that one in particular. But still, it just kind of highlights it's a different weapon, but it doesn't change their playstyle. Their playstyle is still aggression, distraction, diversion, keeping you focused on opposite sides of the map instead of just focusing on one area. So if they can find a way to keep Rego Hiss safe in this one, GG's can get back into the set. If not, it's going to be over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, owing to the amount of back and forth that we saw in that last match, I don't think this one is going to be too different, especially with the way Splat Zones generally tends to play out. It's the cap and the hold, and you have to keep that control of the zone. But with all the aggression that, I mean, both of these teams have been showing, it's probably going to be a lot of back and forth.
And that is a Octobrush. Which one is that? Is that the hero one?
Is, yeah.
Vanilla.
Vanilla or Hero, but they have the same kit, and Ninja Squid as well, so you better watch out for some shark-infested waters. And then we have the Neo Splash as well. Not too much of a surprise, that's a lot of area control coming from one speedy weapon. And oh my goodness, all these missiles leading to the Octobrush going down very early, so that is a loss in the aggression that Cook Islands probably would have liked to have, and so GG's is going to take that first pick of the zone.
A little bit of a miscommunication right there of where everybody was going to dump their missiles as Nova gets yet another splat bomb kill. Honestly, they were kind of lucky that they only got away with one player dying to those inertial missiles, doing a much better job of dodging them that time, that second time around. But yeah, the first time that GG's able to get a good opening, but they immediately lose control of zone yet again because they don't find a way to kind of capitalize off of that splat they got with the missiles.
Yeah, I mean the double missiles though are likely going to be pretty helpful in zone coverage, especially when they're targeting people on. Ooh, the Octobrush player here though, getting some nice picks, especially that fall off one over the wall. That is the power of this weapon. I mean, it has crazy range for a brush.
Yeah, I think some people kind of, they're not used to playing against it, so they don't really know how much of a range to respect on that. But the splats Toby was getting right there was just smacking people right in their face. Now you pop the Inkjet as well to able to take care of the anchor player yet again, not being able to keep that players.
I think the jet ate that inkjet shot, from what I could tell. We have the missiles coming out again, but not too many of them landing on zone, and of course we're going to get missiles fired right back onto the entire team from Rhythm here on the V-Slosher, and the armor coming out as well. This timer is just steadily ticking down, although we do finally have the pick from GG's as well as the Slosher pick and all of those missiles, so they are moving forward just a little bit. You can see the Soda taking advantage of this to gain some ground, and that one pick on the splash is going to help a lot as well, although this brush seems like they keep escaping just narrowly with the almost dead but not quite, and we have yet another inkjet from them.
Yeah, look, we're basically crossing the halfway point now. 2 players on Cook's Island haven't even gotten a splat yet, and they're just now losing lead. Toby is the difference maker right now. If GG's can just hyper-focus Toby, they can probably find a way to win this one. But instead, they can't. They lose control of zone. They do get lead, and they do have the man advantage to flip the zone right back and to continue this push a little bit longer. But yeah, find Toby, deal with Toby, and that seems to be the domino that knocks down everybody else.
I mean, but Toby is still going. There is another inkjet pick and another assist as well. Looking for another, doesn't quite find it, but you know, sometimes it's, oh, you know, here's some sophisticated team, and sometimes it's we need to find this one player and take them out and prevent them from doing anything. And right now, it's the game of find the Octobrush, and GG is having just really having a time trying to play that.
Well, that's where the missiles come into play. 14 missiles fired already, and now they take care of Toby at 1:30 left to go. They can now push up a little bit without trying to overextend, build up some more specials that they can use here as well. So this is a very good situation for GG's, but yes, again, now back in the take-in, you got armor that you're ready to use, missiles as well being fired back out, and you got another one of those Toby Inkjets online ready to go with armor dripped around them. Is this going to be enough to take back zone? Able to take care of one player, as the rest of the Inkjet chasing players out, and the rest of them collapsing back in to at least stall the zone for a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to sustain it. They need to get some more splats.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw the Soda Slosher go down, and that was after the whole onslaught of paint and inkjet and everything. So they need to be taking out those players on GG's who are just kind of chilling out right now. I mean, now we have Toby on the zone again. Another inkjet coming out, but that armor on GG's is going to help with that. We do have zone neutralization and flip to Cook Islands as well, but they're all still there, save for the Flingza. And so it really is becoming more and more about the picks that they need to get, although being in control of the zone as well as having a penalty that's only at 13, it does still pose a bit of a threat, because once that penalty runs out, the timer starts ticking down, and those scores are very, very close right now.
It's very close, but the problem is, can they hold on to the zone? They don't have the bodies to do it. They keep trading the zone back and forth, and that's not going to work out. Toby trying to do a little bit of desperation right there. Yeah, just Cook Islands having a lot of difficulties trying to get splats right there. And what is the culprit of that? People are going to say, well, the V-Jet fired 13 missiles and the Flingza fired 8. It's hard for a slosher to kind of deal with that. Yes, but your Octobrush player was being very effective for the good chunk of this game. It's just when they lost control and they weren't able to kind of fire off all those specials and capitalize off of the few splats that they were getting, and able to kind of capture certain spaces that wasn't exactly the zone, but maybe they can capture the left side glass or something else and then collapse on the zone from that way. Just trading the zone back and forth against a team that's going to fire off that many missiles isn't going to get you a win right there. But still, they're up 2-1 in the set. They're allowed to lose one more and be just fine. Cook Island's still in a very good situation to win this set, even though they just lost that last one.
Definitely. Our game for that Cook Islands will have to win if they want this set is Tower Control on Anchovy Games. This one's pretty common. It's one of the ones you counterpick when you can't counterpick zones. So these teams are gonna know how to play this one, and well, I will say this is one of those maps where it's like the second checkpoint is really crucial. A lot of maps have that, but really just because you spend so long on the enemy team's plat, you have to maintain control of that for a good amount of time to get past that second checkpoint. And then once you get past that and into the lower area, the more spawn the area closer to the opposing team's spawn, it gets a little bit easier once you get there.
Well, this is a map where you traditionally see somebody use Inkjet. You've seen people use T-Tech here a lot. You see Nautilus be used here a lot just because Inkjet is kind of broken. But we haven't seen Inkjet being used from either team. It's just been kind of missile spam.
I mean, the Octobrush Inkjet in the last game. But
That's
other than
true.
That, yeah.
But are we going to see that same kind of Octobrush again?
Yeah, I think we had an Octo shot previously too, but there weren't as many, not too many inkjets. We have a switch to the K machine. I do like that, and the nozzle nose coming out as well.
That is the vanilla. That is the
Ooh.
vanilla H3. That is missiles and point sensor, and that is not the Inkjet Octobrush. Instead, it's
the new
missiles and it's beacon and missiles.
Beacons, alright then. Well, yeah, so no, I don't think we'll be seeing any of the funny inkjet tricks on this, but we do have the machines on both teams actually, so I do really like that.
Both, okay, so the vanilla H3 and the Octobrush Nouveau, both kind of versions of those weapons you would not expect to see, but it is double missile, so maybe a little bit of statement being made right there.
Yeah, we have GG's though with a pretty strong opening. They get past that first checkpoint, and they are still chilling out there. Of course, you have that CJ on the tower, just farming those stingrays. The members of Cook Islands are coming back, maintaining a presence on that tower though, and taking that back. They did only take the junior down though. Probably the rest of GG's have backed up just a little bit, managed to stay. You know what? Okay, I was going to say managed to stay alive, but I did see that delayed 3 down there, so maybe not quite.
Well, managing to stay alive when there's missiles falling from left and right is very difficult to do.
Stay alive in the relative sense of the word.
Stingray ready to go, but the missile, the armor, and the missiles. You know, this is a very difficult comp to Stingray. If double missiles being fired at you plus armor from a junior constantly going to be dripped on players. It does slow down this checkpoint for a little bit, but it's not going to be for long. Essentially a tie game up to this point, unless Cook Islands can find a way to break that second checkpoint. Yeah, they might get lead right here, but I really want to get across that second checkpoint because you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to do it. They don't have the man advantage, and even though Toby's in a good situation and they do get lead, that should be the end of their push. Tie ball game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, that 1 point lead, neither team having even touched that second checkpoint yet, isn't going to mean too much, unless this game comes to a complete standstill, which I don't expect that to happen. Well, the K Machine just sniffing out one of the brush that was trying to hide there, and putting down a little bit of paint as well. Those fizzies, really, really nice on this map, because you can reach some of the higher, that higher overhang part that people like to hide on.
So far, GG's is doing a much better job of dealing with Toby's brush. Kind of highlighted there by Miner not allowing Toby to escape, but I think that's kind of the comp change they're using here. That more supportive Octobrush that they're using this time around doesn't necessarily force them to stay back, but to get the most out of those beacons and your missiles, you want to keep a little bit of distance as opposed to the vanilla that they could be a lot more aggressive with before. So I wonder if that just the weapon change is forcing the playstyle to be a little bit different, because they need Toby to be more up in their face. Right now, it's a flip the script. It's Rhythm that's kind of carrying the Ks right now, which is exact opposite of what was happening in Game 3.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta give all of your teammates a chance to shine, you know? But we do have the tower in control of Cook Islands right now, coming up onto that plat, and with 2 down GG's, they are definitely trying to make it to that checkpoint, although the Stingray is going to make that a lot more difficult. They manage to survive that Rhythm, getting a nice pick, so they make it to that second checkpoint, and it looks like they're going to break through as well, which is really, really important, because even if this push does get shut down a little bit after that, they've made it past what is one of the biggest obstacles in the tower path right here.
Yeah, and that makes playing defense a little bit less stressful as well. The push finally coming to an end right now, unless there's some more beacons that are kind of floating around somewhere. It looks like they are just more in the defensive position. But yeah, a minute left to go. You got a full checkpoint lead, and again, another Stingray being fired early. Being aggressive with these Stingrays and not really combining them with any missiles, I guess just because they're a little bit too far back. They're trying to create things before the pushes actually happen, trying to get some picks, and they just aren't really able to find it. Again, you're going to get the special back anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but you would like to start seeing some specials landing in their favor right now, because right now the 1v1, the main weapon fights, are being won by Cook Island.
Yeah, that Stingray, early-ish Stingray pop might also trying to be like creating some space on Plat, maybe trying to force the numbers of Cook Islands back a little bit, but because there's really no other chip damage to combine it with.
What the heck was that?
The double splashdown combo, something like that. I don't know. We have 5 seconds left on the clock, and you can see all the members of GG's on the tower trying to force overtime. They do force it, but Toby's quick to just immediately shut it down. Yeah, I feel like Splashdown... Isn't Splashdown supposed to kill the other Splashdown user?
Well, what threw me off is they both did it at the same time, and neither one of them died from it. So it's like, okay, what happened there? But still, regardless, Rhythm stepping up when they needed to. Toby going back, saying, you know what? I'm going to put down the paint for you. I'm going to put down the beacons for you. I'm going to throw missiles at their Stingray and get them off Rhythm. I'm going to set the table for you to kind of shine a little bit this time around. And that worked out well for Cook Islands. The whole team effort able to get the dub right there, and moving on to grand finals. GG to GG's. They'll be playing in the third place match, and again, like we said, they knocked off any Askers right before this, a team that has consistently been making second place in this tournament in a game 5. So a good tournament run for them that isn't necessarily over just yet, but Cook Islands is moving on to grand finals, baby.
Yes, Grand Finals is coming very, 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 very soon. We just have another match that we'll be seeing, and then, yeah, we'll be right back with that. So we'll see you all in a couple of minutes.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to SOS number 70. I am Popgun, joined by Cater, and we are about to bring you guys grand finals of this lovely tournament. Before we
are
get
indeed.
What you got to say, huh?
I'm sorry.
Can I speak? Can I speak, please?
You may speak. You may say the thing.
Okay, I said I was going to talk about Low Ink because you guys wanted me to. But no, I mean, we don't have to. Alright, fine. Hey.
Go ahead and talk. I'm sorry. Please talk
about
it.
Before we get started here, Low Ink registration has gone live today. It is going to be June 18th and the 19th. Go ahead and sign up for it. But Popgun, I'm banned from Low Ink. I don't know. Maybe you sucked in the past couple of months. Maybe we'll let you back in. It never hurts to go to the exemption request. Unless you've done it multiple months in a row, please stop annoying us. But there you go. Sign up for it. It's the 18th and the 19th. Only a handful of Low Inks left before the end of Splatoon 2. Make sure you win it today. Or sign up for it today so that you can win it. A couple teams that can't play in this tournament you're about to see. Rising Wave taking on Cook Islands. The entire nation of Cook Islands is going to be taking on Rising Wave. The team, Cater, who won SOS number 66 4-1 over Tempest. A team that uses a brush player in Red Shell, so they're very used to seeing an Octobrush player, which they're going to see on the opposite side with Toby of Cook Islands, and be effective against it. Can they win their second SOS ever, is the question we're going to have answered here.
I mean, considering that Cook Islands are islands, they will have to put up a fight against a very large wave, I feel like. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I just wanted to make the joke with the names of the teams. Okay, we've got Clamplets on the Reef as our first match here, and the Reef, I mean, we all know what the Reef, it's the promotional front of Splatoon 2, it's large, you got lots of spaces for everything, but the thing with Clamplets here is I feel like sometimes pushes can be fast, but they can also just get really slow and annoying unless somebody decides to take sneaky, just because of how far you have to go. You
know, I think the people in chat know what Clamplets Reef is. I'm more interested in the logo that Rising Wave had. What was going on there? There was some sort of left shark from the
dancing with the R.
I think it's the left shark from the Super Bowl many 5 or so years ago attacking an R. That is something else.
The R isn't even the right way around. It's flipped.
It is a flipped on the side art. There's a whole lot of nonsense going on right there from Rising Wave. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to point that out real quick because I found it interesting. And it is getting late here on Wednesday night. Rising Wave has won back-to-back Game 5s. They were playing Tyfart. Yes, I did just say that. In round 1, where they were down 2-0, had to pull off a reverse sweep to get to win that one. And then I don't know what the order was, the wins that they had in round 2, but they ultimately won a Game 5 there. So they played 10 games already in this loser, or not loser set, in this Great White set here. Meanwhile, Cook Islands has only played 4. They had a bye in round 1, was able to win against GG's in just 4 games, so maybe a little bit of fatigue we might see setting in here at some point. That'll be the question to see over the course of this best of 7 set.
Yeah, at this point, this late in the tournament, it does become a little bit of a test of stamina, just because it's getting late. You've been playing for a couple of hours, and one of these teams has had a little bit more of a break than the other team, although, of course, they're both going in directly from their semi-sets. So we'll look at we have a double Splatling comp coming on here from Rising Wave, of course. I mean, I love Splatlings. I love Splatlings. We got the Mini as well as the Nautilus, so that's a good amount of turf put down by that team. And then, of course, we're seeing that Octobrush come out that we saw in the past couple games from Cook Islands, although this one is the nouveau, so we might be seeing a little bit more of that slightly supportive playstyle that we saw in the game that we just saw last set.
Whoop, whoop. Double splatling alert. Apparently, that is against the rules. You're not allowed to use double splatlings because they don't work out together for some reason. No, that's not true at all. The Mini is going to provide you a lot of paint, and the Nautilus is going to provide you plenty amount of splats. Now, I saw a conversation on Twitter, people saying Nautilus isn't that good because Squeezer exists, but I don't see a Squeezer on the other side. So Nautilus is legally allowed to be played against this comp, and it's working out pretty well so far.
Are you alluding that, like, if Squeezer is on the field, then Nautilus is immediately outlawed? Is that how that works?
I think the Nautilus should try to avoid the Squeezer, not saying it can't be used.
That's fair.
Maybe shouldn't take those fights. Opening push coming out here, not a whole lot of points going off on the board. Lose a couple of players in the process. Rising Wave forced to retreat. Cook Island's able to capture some space now.
Yeah, 71, not too far. I mean, at least they did get a little bit of that follow-up. We have the missiles, the armor as well from Cook Island. They can definitely put this to use, especially with the shot being down on Rising Wave. We have all of those missiles coming out. They've got top mid. They have power clam. They just need to get to the basket. And the Nautilus is going to jump down and say, maybe not just yet. They'll be guarding that clam a little bit as well, trying to prevent Nitro from picking that up and doing so successfully. So that clam is going to despawn.
Not a lot of patience coming out there from Cook Islands. They had the man advantage, instead just tried to force a push without really recognizing where the opponent was, even though they were in a 3v4 situation, and the Nautilus able to kind of punish that there, getting a nice double and shutting down everything, and now able to capture control of bridge as well.
Yeah, we got this Inkjet coming out here, does get an assist, narrowly avoiding that brush as well, but unfortunately the recall jump does get camped, and the Mini is able to get the power clam in, and with some nice clam, very convenient clam spawns, getting that all the way down to 50, and yeah, with all of the guarding of the basket directly underneath it now, I don't think they'll be able to get anything more than that 47. Still, though, being below 50 is a good place to be. We are below the halfway mark in this match, too, as well. It's still no points on the board yet for Cook Islands, although they are shaping up to get something to happen. There it is. There is finally a power clam getting thrown in, although they have a few smaller clams at their disposal. They also have the spawn back there. The jump in, Toby, with the power clam as well. So as long as they get something else in, they'll be able to comfortably take the lead here, but not by much. And yeah, there it is. There's the pick. Unfortunately, they do go 2 down there. So down to 36, a little bit more of a lead, but probably not as large as they would have liked.
Well, yeah, but you still kind of want to get lead right here. And again, one thing I was going to point out while Rising Wave was finishing their push right there, it's not how you start a push, it's how you end it. How many people do you have left alive? How much space can you still hold on to without sacrificing because you threw a lot of bodies in there? They only had 2 people alive, and they weren't able to get control. Oh, excuse me, hold on! It's more time out of nowhere, able to get a splat with the missiles and one more. Oh, they surely knew Toby was right there, though.
The beautiful defense, I think, getting at least 2, if not more, picks there. So although we did get all of those picks leading into that push, they weren't able to get any follow-up because they all immediately went down. So, I mean, there's an example of offense leading directly into defense, and that's exactly what you mean by ending the push. I mean, in that case, the push ended very quickly, but they all went down, the space was given up, and now look at where Cook Islands is right now with only 30 seconds remaining. They're in a relatively comfortable position, although they're just taking so much space right now.
Look, all they got to do is pop the basket, Rising Wave, and they got lead. That's all it takes. One, just pop of the basket and they got lead. But they don't have man advantage. They don't have map control. They don't really have a lot of clams. Morza's trying to force something right there.
Ooh.
And is able to get a... What? How did that happen? You're not supposed to be able to do that with the Mini. Now the Nautilus in a good position. And again, all they got to do is pop basket and they get it. So they have the one power clam that they need. The Inkjet ready to go. Are they going to throw this one? And then, they got a DC as well. So they're not even going to have help from their junior coming out there. And there's just no really way for them to slip in there. As long as they hold on to this power clam, they can't fire off Inkjet. And now they're going to try to slip it through and get... Oh, they got it somehow? What?
Oh, where did that come from?
Oh, there was somebody up against the wall. I barely saw the replay right there. With a player DC'd, they found a way to just slip right through and Rising Wave wins an impressive game 1. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that is not how I thought that was going to end, but hey, I love surprises. I was gonna say, I mean, that double from the mini, because I saw the person jump down behind them, and I was like, okay, they're gonna die, and then they 180'd and took that person out. It's like, minis don't usually do that. Where'd that come from?
We were so focused on the Nautilus, and that was the only angle that we kind of saw right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, man, they probably really want to pop that inkjet, but as long as they're holding on to that clam and time is running out, they can't pop the inkjet, or else they ultimately just lose. So it's like, how are they going to slide through there? And ultimately, somebody, I guess, came down street while they were focused on, and maybe made a power clam right at the basket. That way it wasn't like detected or anything. But yeah, I even look back, like I got the stream open on my other monitor, so it's like 5 seconds delayed from what you and I are actually seeing live. And it's, I still, even then, I couldn't really see exactly what was going on right there. But Rising Wave, with a player DCing at the very end right there, able to slip right through and get game 1.
Very, very nice. I mean, yeah, I think because clams, there's the possibility of clams spawning on street, so there could have been just little, the clam pod there, and somebody swam up there and was very lucky and formed it. But yeah, so very, very nice. Alright, I think our second game is going to be Zone's Pit, if I'm not yes, there it is, Zone's Pit. And, this one, I feel like, with the way that we've seen these two teams play out, it could be very back and forth. I don't think we'll be seeing, but like both of these teams, of course, will be trying to force a lockout, but I don't think it will be lasting too long on either end.
It's hard to get lockouts. It's hard to put up long, sustainable pushes on this map just because you sneeze on the zone and it just stalls and everything just kind of freezes there. My concern now is the player that DC'd, are they able to get back into the lobby? It looks like everybody's back into the lobby right there. We still don't really know what happened with that. I didn't even catch it. It was our streamer, Kraken Mayor, in our ear saying, hey, there was a DC. I didn't even recognize that. So hopefully that's just like a one-time thing and not really something that's going to plague the set. And what a break! I mean, you talk about because they played out that game and won it as well. They don't have to use that DC replay. So if they DC again later in the set, they still got the replay to work with. So many bullets dodged there at the end of that game 1 that I absolutely guarantee you, however the set ends, we're going to look back at what happened on that game 1 and recognize that as the one that just changed the course of this entire set. Because that really should have been a win for Cook Islands.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just not. I mean, like, if there's any time to DC, that's probably the best time, and then win the game, and then you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so it does look like everybody's back, so I do hope that the rest of our set continues without any internet troubles. But yeah, I mean, we all know how the Splatoon 2 servers are. Sometimes it just can't be helped.
The tactical DC. I'm going to DC so that my opponent, my teammates will feel my power and spirit and will play even better than if I was still in the lobby.
What is it, like, I work better under pressure or something like that?
That was a pretty pressure-filled situation. Although it was just game 1, Cook Island can come back from this one. Obviously, It's best of 7. We got a long way to go, and that is a bamboo rearing its ugly head in our game. I love
bamboo on this map. I love seeing bamboo on this map so much. It is a straight line. You have line of sight. You can do what you want. It's a very cool and good weapon, in my opinion. And of course, we have the K52 as well. So those splash walls can be really, really helpful.
Yeah, bamboo's broken on this map, especially that vanilla one where you can just fire curling bombs straight down the middle. Obviously, the missiles, the splashdown, able to kind of take care of the mini there. So this double kind of midline comp here. And only one K-Gal. Interesting. We saw a team win with Quad K-Gal on this map recently. Yes, deciding only to go with one with Rising Wave. That's don't know about that.
there's Toby going up in there with the ink brush. This is the ink brush Nouveau again, so we'll be seeing those ballers deciding to get not one but two very, very nice picks. And there is a lot of green ink on this map right now. This K-Gal did. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. I hope your swim is refreshing. Okay.
Don't leave. You can't leave the island. You are not designed to leave the island, unfortunately.
You are trapped
and
here.
you know what? That might be the only reason why Cook Island loses control of the zones right here, because they had a great lockout going. They put a ton of points up on the board for this map, but now you got the zone flipped back around. No penalty points in the way. All 4 specials online from Cook Islands, but they're all stuck in the useless area.
Yeah, I mean
Them.
that is the most amount of people I've ever seen actively using Piranha Pit useless. And now that those people are dying and respawning, they don't have those specials online nearly as quickly as they would like to, and this timer is ticking. They're going to lose that lead. I will say Cook Islands has a surprisingly small penalty given how long they held that zone, but I think it's because there was like that small cap in between. There is a nice bamboo pick, and I mean, just suddenly we have Rising Wave being the ones to apply that lockout. Although there is the breakout from Cook Islands. They're getting those picks that they need. There's not one but two, and they are back in control of those zones. That is a hefty 65-point penalty.
I'm sorry. I'm still hung up on the fact that they had all those players stuck in the useless area. Now, they had all 4 of their specials built up. I'm assuming that's because they all went down there to build up the specials. But then it was like, okay, what do we do? You saw one player jump back to spawn. You saw one player just die. So it's like, oh, what do we do now?
2 of them died down there, actually. And then it's like, you know, they respawn, they don't have their specials. Everybody's kind of scattered at that point. Like, I mean, I don't really get the idea of everybody going down there to farm a special in the first place, but I guess, I mean, it is in the past now, but yeah, it is something that I haven't seen before.
Now Nick is starting to get a little bit comfortable here.
Yeah,
I mean, since that moment where the player fell off the map, Rising Wave has just kind of been rising the momentum from that ever since, and just keep capitalizing off the mistakes that Cook Island is presenting to them right now. And look, they're almost done with their penalty points as well.
Yeah, almost. We do have Nick chilling out here, finally deciding to leave and escaping alive somehow. That splash while saving their life. Meanwhile, we have Cook Islands attempting to break back into the zone. We have all those bombs coming out from the splash, and still getting neutralization, but not quite able. And there's the Booyah Bomb taking out one. That's 3 down now. So, I mean, that splash is doing all that they can, but really being the only one, they can't do much.
You know, I kind of talked about this leading into this one, how Rising Wave has played back-to-back game 5s. You would think, okay, maybe they'll start getting a little bit fatigued. You'll start seeing a little bit more mental mistakes coming out from them. Instead, it's from the other side. Cook Islands, game 1, 3v4 situation, couldn't hold on to the lead. Here in game 2, got a huge lead initially. Player falls off the map. The rest of the players maybe got pushed down into that useless area where they couldn't do anything with all those specials they built up. So it's just Cook Islands that are making a little bit more of the mental mistakes at this point. And maybe that's just more so Rising Wave riding the momentum of winning back-to-back game 5s and just being overly hyped and honestly being more experienced in this kind of situation. They've won this tournament before recently, last month, and now up 2-0. The biggest lead they've had in any set so far in this entire bracket.
Oh, you don't have to do them
actually.
like that. God.
Do them like what?
I don't know. I'm just saying, there's something, I don't know. It feels like there's something innately derogatory about being like, oh, this is the highest lead they've had. But it is still good. It is.
I mean, keep in mind, they were almost got swept out in round 1. To that point to where they've gotten right now. It's been they're playing, let me say it like this. They're playing their best Splatoon at the right time on the tournament.
That's what you like to see. All right. Well, we're headed into our game 3 now. Tower control on Inkblood Art Academy. So, again, another one where the second checkpoint gets really important. Take a look at our comps here. We have that double splatling coming back. The machine, the Octobrush, not so surprising on this map, of course. At this point in the tournament, these players are going to know what they're familiar with. I love seeing machine on this map just because it controls the even ground really nicely, but also because you can still reach those ledges.
Yeah, we've seen Rhythm be effective on that machine for the entirety that we've seen them on set so far. And Nova as well. I mean, like you kind of said, there's not really a whole lot of comp chains going on here. Toby seems to be really locked into that Octobrush Nouveau. And yeah, again, they just kind of have to play a little bit more of a supportive role. They're not getting the kind of aggression they want, or that they were getting an early in the semifinals that we saw. So you see two players going down there, and the rest of players just forced to retreat as the entirety of mid flips over to purple.
Yeah, all of this control from Rising Wave right now. They managed to make it all the way past that first checkpoint as well. That's going to make their next push a lot easier now that they don't have that between them and the second. We have the 1 point on the board from Cook Islands. They're on that tower trying to maintain the control. Rhythms, unfortunately, that splashdown going to get canceled. I think that was a double jump back to spawn as well. So with those members of Rising Wave out of the equation for just a couple of seconds, we're going to see the members of Cook Islands try to push forward just a little bit. Nice pick on that Nautilus. Oh, no. No, the Keisha DC.
I think this is a replay.
Yeah,
nobody's gone past 50.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, that's going to be Cook Islands replay and not Rising Waves. So, I think we did also see a host change from the previous DDC that we saw. So,
well, yeah. that was when Rising Wave had a player DC. So this is a player on the opposite team.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a weird situation. I mean, I guess we're not used to seeing this in Splatoon.
Yeah.
And again, luckily it was in a time frame to where this match isn't going to count, and we can get the replay
just a couple
going
more
on
points
here.
in that match might have counted, but
yeah.
Or is it 50? Is this this tournament's rules are 50, right?
I only have low inks because that's the tournament I do, and I know
close enough.
Low ink we let you
a
get
little
down
bit
to like
more
30.
in this match would have counted. You get the point, but yeah. So we will get to see a replay of that, I guess.
We will. Well, hopefully that player gets back into the lobby, and again, you don't want this to be the story of the set. The players DC'd and we won because they DC'd or whatever. You want a good clean set to get through here. So hopefully it's just somebody's little brother kicked the router and not like a consistent issue that we're going to be seeing here.
Oh no, my foot caught on my Ethernet cable and caused it to disconnect.
Mom, I'm playing a tournament. Tell Tommy to get off YouTube.
No, I can't pause the online game type deal.
Did somebody? I think somebody lost a low ink because somebody in their house used the microwave. Is that true? Can the microwave really throw off the internet? Is that an actual thing?
There was that story where this science lab that used the radio dishes had this constant signal for 7 years that was puzzling them, and it turned out that the microwave in their kitchen gave off a signal if you opened it before the timer was finished, and that was what had been puzzling them. So yeah, I think microwaves can interfere with internet if that can happen.
Well, maybe
also we're getting a confirmation from Kraken. So.
We are. I have to actually pay attention to Kraken. Host change incoming. Is that what I'm seeing? Yes, that works. That works. That is fair. Okay, so the little birdie in my ear says that we are trying to get that last player.
Look, you have the stream pulled up. I have the text chat to Kraken pulled up. It's only fair.
Yeah, but then I have to pay. The problem is I have to pay attention to Kraken. It doesn't matter what the context is. It's just,
I see. I'm sorry for your loss in that situation.
Yeah. Regardless, we are waiting for. We did remake the lobby. It looks like, and the player who DC'd is back in. Right? Because I see 4 players from the Cook Islands team that are in there, and we're just missing one Rising Wave player who's probably just trying to figure out what the password is. But while we're doing that, let's just kind of recap you guys here. We are currently 2-0 Rising Wave over Cook Islands. Rising Wave, having to win back-to-back Game 5s to get here, has one SOS 66 in the past. Cook Islands, a pickup team, I'm assuming some of those players have won an SOS before at some point. I know Rhythm has played in a lot of these things.
Yeah, they probably have a good amount of experience regardless.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, Rhythm I know has been around playing competitive for a long
I didn't mean an
time.
SOS specifically, but yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we're just waiting. We just had a player DC, and that is the only replay Cook Islands is going to get. So if they DC again at any point in the set, you're just going to have to do what Rising Wave did in Game 1 and just find the way to win 3v4 anyway. So, but again, that player's back in. Hopefully it was just a one-time thing, and we can figure out why this other player can't join now. What in the world?
Yeah, it's not even the offending team. Is it the player that disconnected previously, or? Oh, we are receiving word.
Well, yeah, it was Nitro that DC'd, but that team has 3. Hold on.
Oh, it's the lack of the team tag that's throwing us, I think. Yeah, we have missed.
Oh, Nick is on Rising Wave.
It is the lack of the team tag on Nick's name.
Fair enough. Yeah, Rising Wave being the actual team here. They have one player without
your tags.
the.
No, I'm joking.
Well, maybe this is just like a sub for their actual team. I don't know
fair.
what Rising Wave's official roster is.
Yeah, of course.
Or maybe it's a tryout. Who knows? Or it could be that one player. Like every team has that one player that's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear the tag. Like I'm on the team, but I want to be my own kind of individual person.
Really?
Kind of like a
Charizard,
but you don't have a high enough badge level, so like the Pokemon doesn't respect you yet. You know what I mean?
You have to earn their respect for them to wear the team tag.
I'm not going to respect you until you beat the 4th gym, and then I'm going to be like, oh, you're legit. I'll start listening to you now instead of doing my own thing. Whatever. And this is why we go to break instead of just talking through while we wait for the next sets to start.
Are we in too deep? Do we want to go to break?
We're not going to take a break. We're going to keep going here. I believe it is a router that is being reset. Hey, let's plug some stuff. Why not? Friday Night Frenzy. Hey, that starts this Friday.
Yeah, you're actually going to be seeing me there. I'll be there that night to kick it off with Devi. So that's going to be real fun.
Oh, you're commentating with Debbie.
I am.
Nice.
It's going to be very, very cool. So yeah, like you said, Friday, June 3rd, 9 p.m. ET. 8 teams listed up here are going to battle it out all season to see who's going to become the FNF4 champion. All matches will be streamed and commentated, so be sure to tune in to root for your favorite team. You can follow them on Twitter and on Twitch to catch the action.
Yeah, play for your follow up for your favorite team. Yeah, this is one of the. This is one of those kind of Friday Night Frenzies where, well, actually probably the only one, where all 8 of those teams right there, all of them name brand teams, kind of like Rising Wave, who has 4 players in the lobby, as well as Cook Islands that has their 4th player as well. This is the best thing ever. We're going to play some actual Splatoon.
Yeah, we don't get to just watch all of Rising Wave chill out on the tower. We actually get to see real tower control Inkling Art Academy. Would you look at that? Alright, fingers crossed we don't have any unfortunate disconnects this time. And here we go for the second time.
And we saw Rising Wave come out with the better opening before getting 2 players down for nothing in return and getting the first checkpoint for 3. And it looks like the same thing's pretty much happening right now. 1 more player instantly going down. Rising Wave able to make mid yellow again. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, and this mini is just looking at that ledge, gonna make it dangerous for anybody that wants to even look at Plat. There is that first checkpoint falling with very little resistance, although here coming up into Plat, that's where the fights start taking place. We do still have presence from Cook Islands here. There's 2 down on the side of Rising Wave as well. 3 down now on the side of Cook Islands. 3 down on both sides, actually. I think everybody just kind of died there. So we have a little 1v1 in the middle while we wait for these teammates to come back.
Nice jump in from Nitro, able to get a splat on a player that should probably not been on tower right there with no paint around the tower and nobody else to kind of help push it up. So a nice punish there by Nitro. One of the few times we've seen in the set Cook Islands punish a mistake that Rising Wave made.
Yeah, that overextension, I mean, if you catch that, you can punish that, and there we go. We have the first checkpoint, we have the lead. There's only the NZAP up on Rising Wave right now, and even they have been sniffed out and eliminated. So right now, they are just chilling out. That second checkpoint's going to fall, and they are on their way to the third. We do have the members of Rising Wave back now.
Oh no! Oh no! This is gonna count!
Ooh, this will count. So
player,
they
too.
did make it. Yeah, it is the same player. It's the K shot again. That is so unfortunate. They did make it all the way to 29. Did get all the way pretty much through their big push. Now it is a matter of Cook Islands having to hold off Rising Wave for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of time.
Yeah, if this was like 2 minutes, maybe you could find a way to do it. Now, if they can just like hold their ground, the good news is that they cleared that second checkpoint.
Absolutely.
So that's a little something to work with here, but you still got half the game left to go. Every time you get splatted, you're already at a man disadvantage, but you can't just get trades. You have to win fights straight up. Can they hold on to this checkpoint right here? It's going to come down to Toby on that arching of that Octobrush. Not going to be able to do it. Lead is surely going to fall shortly here, and man, you hate to see this. It's the same player too. They just reset their router. The worst ton of time for something like this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the set, like, that push was really good. We could have seen a really cool game, and I mean, the tower has stopped. that is a fair thing. They have stopped the tower at 3. And they are trying to keep it there. They're not just gonna get wiped, knocked out with no effort at all. We still have the picks going down. We still have actual gameplay going down, but it's just unfortunate to see when you know that you could have had like a really good match without that unfortunate disconnect.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen over the course of the next 3 minutes if they play a 4v4. You can, but I would assume the odds were very high that they were going to win that game 3 with that push that they knocked out right there. I mean, clearing that second checkpoint and getting deep close to the third one there and having a whole checkpoint advantage over the other team. And then you come back in and you can defend with 4 players. Yeah, it was very likely they would have won that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, showing up is half the battle. And Rising Wave was able to just stay in the lobby better than the other team. I mean, sometimes it just comes down to just that. Now, the set isn't over. Cook Islands showed that if they could get their connection issues figured out, they show they are more than capable, especially in game 1, especially with how game 2 started, and especially how that game 3 was turning out, that they're very capable of pulling off the reverse sweep here, even though they've dug themselves in this massive hole. It's just, you pretty much have to play perfect Splatoon from this time out, because Rising Wave has been doing an excellent job of capitalizing off of your mistakes up to this point. You can't really afford to make any mistakes at all going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how that fortunately played out in that second game on pit zones. So, you know, as long as they can hopefully refrain from kind of that, from overextension or from being in the wrong place, although it is really difficult just with the way this game plays to not make mistakes. And when you have to pull off the 4 games in a row, that just becomes really difficult. But, I mean, here's hoping that they can get something here.
I mean, we're trying everything here. I believe we've got yet another rehost.
Yeah, I think production this time is hosting, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can meet in the middle.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not. You could only point the finger at so many different things before it's just like, okay, maybe it's just something on our end there. But it is worth noting out that every accommodation is trying to be made to get this set in a way that it kind of deserves to be. I mean, Game 3 ended how Game 3 ended. There's nothing that can be changed about that. But at least, hopefully, this tournament can close out on a positive note. And if not, well, then I guess you guys are just going to have to sign up next week and try to fix it. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, SOS continues. It's not like this is the last one.
That we know of.
That we know of. That is so threatening.
You never know. I mean, look, it's Pride Month. We can't get rid of SOS during Pride Month. We've already released our
Pride calendar.
We did. What? Who the heck is that? I believe we got a sub here. Okay, so who's the player? It was Nitro that was DCing, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, that is. I'm not the best
that is
at
not
reading.
Nitro.
I'm not the best at reading, but that is definitely not Nitro. That is Sista Bumpa.
Say it, Top Gun.
I don't know.
Say it.
I have no idea who that actually is. And before anybody in chat just kind of obviously it's this person. No, don't even with that. But still, it looks like they got a sub here, which is nice. Subbing out Nitro. But, yeah, I mean, I okay. Now look, and another thing to point out: this player's not on the roster, but it's fine. It's an open invite tournament. This isn't low ink where we have to look at every single sub you bring in. There's no skill cap here. If you just want to grab somebody off the street and throw them on your roster, go right ahead. But no idea who this player is. Absolutely no idea. Sista Bumpa.
Well, I guess we'll find out in the coming match.
What kind of Gen Z nonsense is that? What kind of reference is that?
I don't know. I cannot translate this one. I am very sorry.
Well, dare I Google this and have this on my search feed? Yeah, scared here. Regardless, we do have a sub in. We're going to be continuing to play this. Google did not help at all, so I don't get what the reference for this is here. So there you go. All right. Rainmaker main stage, game 4.
We've been given a Twitter. I am looking at the Twitter. Oh, okay.
Did you just go to @Sista Bumpa?
No. In Battle 5 there was a Twitter provided, and it looks like the person's name is Sista Bunda. So.
Bunda.
Yeah. So probably some sort of play on their name, I would imagine.
Game 4.
Yeah, it looks like 2700. Yeah, okay. That's cool. We got it. We got a player. That's cool. We have somebody in the lobby. That's what matters. They're playing CJet. All right. Yeah, hell yeah.
Race spam CJ, and we got a T-Tech sighting. Hey, somebody was complaining that we don't see enough T-Techs here. Well, there's one right there. Drop roller T-Tech at that.
What? Wait, what?
You shouldn't pay attention to Twitter, obviously. It's your life will be better off for it. Sploosh 7 as well, coming out from the side of Cook Islands.
Yeah, we got the Sploosh, we got the K machine here as well, and then of course Rising Wave. We have that Bamboo, so the missiles from there. Oh, that's good. The Bamboo, that's pretty cool. I like that pick.
Well, good. Because they did a good job of canceling a splashdown right there.
Nice.
And this is a player who's been using Nautilus as well, so very, very effective on 2 different kind of midline Splatling and Charger weapons that they've been using out throughout this entire set.
Nice. There's
able to take care of the Sploosh as well.
Unfortunately, I do go down to Rhythm on that K-Machine, getting just a little bit too close for comfort. And that Rainmaker timer is already half gone. Cook Islands trying to get some more points on the board. They're at 75 right now. Of course, they probably want to get into that pit at least. Rhythm's going to go down, though, and that's going to probably break that line of defense. So unfortunately, Rainmaker does go down there.
Not unfortunate for Cook Islands, who picks it up and able to add a little bit more to it. 35 remaining. You want to get up that ramp if you want to feel comfortable, but still, like the sneakiness there, able to kind of slip behind Rising Wave and add a few more points to it and make sure, hey, make sure you guys got to pay attention here. Again, we kind of talked about it. Cook Island has to play basically perfect throughout this entire next 4 games if they want to find a win this one. Right now, it's Rising Wave that's a little bit off balance here.
Yeah, that Rainmaker is in mid now. The pop also going to Rising Wave, so they're going to have a little bit more turf around that. Oh no, DC! No, the Junior on Cook Islands!
In this
He's
game,
gone.
again, this game is going to count.
No.
Regardless of, and this might be lead right here with 2 players down. Hammer could miraculously save something. It's not. And that is going to do it. Rising Wave, by hook or by crook, has found themselves winning their second SOS
The
tournament.
wave has overpowered the islands, and that, unfortunately, is how it's going to end. Again, you hate to see it, but sometimes that's just how it plays out. Technical.
That was the third different player to DC in this best of 7.
It was.
That is.
And remember that the first DC was actually on the side of Rising Wave as well.
Yeah, that's
And they still have their DC replay at the end of this, technically, because they didn't replay that game, so...
You know what? I mean, yeah, it sucks because game 3 and 4, Cook Islands were winning somewhat comfortably. You want to see those games play out, but again, they were in comfortable position right there. But with what we got, with how Rising Wave was able to win that game 1, how they were able to... The game 2 was the only game that we actually got to see all the way through, honestly, without any kind of shenanigans. And Rising Wave was able to play a little bit stronger there. Why am I getting pinged? Is this...
because we are possibly seeing a replay. Okay, yes, I think...
Are they going to gentleman it?
I think they are gentlemaning it, yes.
Yes, it has been confirmed, so we are getting a gentleman. Right. Now, I don't... Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Hats off to Rising Wave. They have not won just yet. They're going to gentleman this one and do a replay here. So, I mean, we got the same roster that we just had. So we're... Okay, so hold everything. Don't close out yet. We're going to run it right back. We're going to try it one more time. But surely, if we have more issues with this, but hopefully, for the 4th time, we can keep everybody in here.
We've had like 2-3 rehosts throughout the set.
We have tried everything possible
three different
to get
hosts.
this in.
Yes, so we've been doing
changes. We're going back out, and once again, it's Cook Islands picking up where they were left off, able to pop the Rainmaker to start.
Yep, we got the ray from them as well, although that being single targeted means they are going to have to move at some point, unfortunately. So nothing immediate with that ray, but we do have that pick on the Junior, which is going to mean no armor for Rising Wave, and so Cook Island's gonna pick up that Rainmaker, gonna try and push it. Different route this time. The stamp, there's nice stamp. Bamboo going down, they are going... They are getting it to 12. So they got it pretty much to the top of that ramp. They get the pop as well. They're gonna go for it.
Honestly, you need to KO right now because you don't know. Honestly, because you don't know who's going to DC in the next couple of seconds. You won't know how. I'm being serious. You don't know how long this game is going to go on.
They got the pop again. The bomb. They are at 5 right now. It's just that Rising Wave keeps taking them out before they can get up the podium, and now they've gotten wiped. So they get all the way to 5. They just gotta hold off Rising Wave for 3 minutes and 40 seconds and cross their fingers. They need to
stay in the lobby is the thing. Yeah, that's a long... I'm being serious. That's such a long time for them with what they've shown us these last couple of games. But if they could get through this and they can win this game 5 minutes and some overtime with no jank at all, then Cook's Island has a huge momentum boost that they can use to try to still win this one. So, if they don't DC, I feel like they are going to win because they were dominating the before the replay happened, and they've been dominating right now, even though they don't have the man advantage. But yeah, that's just the story. Can they stay in here?
Yeah, I mean, we could see a huge shift in momentum all because the internet issues decided to clear up. We just need to see how the rest of this match goes. We have Rising Wave with their Rainmaker right now, doing their best to push it forward, but of course, that Stingray is really going to make things a lot harder. Nick's going in with the Inkjet, looking for something. Don't think they're gonna quite find it, though. Manages to avoid the jump camp. Oh, that was a close call.
Didn't look at the map. You didn't see that they were running drop roller. We called it out last time, and the junior goes down. Rainmaker gets picked up for nothing there, but a 3v3 situation halfway through. Rhythm able to get a nice splat, and that honestly, that splat Rhythm that's got right there, winning that 1v1 might just completely shut down this push, which is good. 3 minutes gone by, and everything's looking good. Cook Island's in a pretty good situation.
Yep, there are 2 minutes left on the clock, like you said. We have that another splashdown into the pop of the Rainmaker Stingray as well. Rhythm is just lying in wait here, looking for those picks. Unfortunately, it does go down. The armor probably hindering that pick a lot. So we do have Rising Wave trying to get something done here. The Bamboo's looking, I mean, they're all looking for something, but unless they get these picks like the Bamboo just got right there, really, really nice, they can't advance at all.
I feel like that player was out of the range of the Bamboo, but just barely
it
in it.
Really far away, but you know, haha, funny. Oh, 17. Okay, we're up to 17. We have the Ultra Stamp coming out now, so that being thrown. Oh, just misses the Bamboo. I don't know if they wanted to pick up the Rainmaker or not. Okay then. Well, we have a pickup, and there's the full wipe, unfortunately. So the push will end there. 17-5 right now, and we got a minute and change left. Cook Islands are still all here. They're still doing great. So I think we can see this match played out in its entirety.
And, you know, don't want to jinx it, but even if there was a DC at this point, you still got to feel pretty good. Okay, only 50 seconds to go here. And it's weird that we're sitting here talking about that, but you got to talk about what the story of the set is, and that's exactly what it's been up to this point. But when Cook Island stays in the lobby, they are playing very well. Even though they've been down 0-3, they've been playing extremely well all set long, and in a great position here to finally get their first win. Rhythm in a great position.
Great! Oh. No, that would have been such a good moment. But I saw, like, you could kind of, I bet Rhythm could tell as well, like the angle of where the splashdown was going. You could just see that it was angled just on the corner of that grate, and unfortunately, it does not extend to below the grate. My heart breaks for what the Twitter clip that could have been.
Rising Wave now with one final opportunity to put this tournament away before anything gets going right now, but that's going to be difficult to do when you don't realize Rhythm just comes around the backside, and as you're dodging that...
They took out Rhythm, but the Ray... No.
It's just Bumpa able to close out this set. So there we go! And that's a good... Okay, I said they probably needed the KO just to win that one, just before anything crazy happened. The good news is they won the game, but they won the game going all the way through 5 minutes with some overtime change, and nothing crazy happened right there. Cook Islands, honestly, is in a good position to make a reverse sweep. I'm not just sitting here trying to just kind of make up... I'm not going to sit here and try to lie to the audience and, oh, this could be a close game if it's not. But you saw how they were in Game 3 before the DC. You saw how they were in Game 4 before the DC. And you saw how they've been playing out the course of the set. It's not... This has been a very close set between both teams. The scoreboard doesn't show it right now, but it's I don't want to say likely, but it's very within the realm of possibility that Cook Island can still win this tournament.
Oh yeah, it is well within their reach. Like you said, the technical issues, unfortunately, and just the way the scoreboard does not show how the matches have actually been going, and they have shown, I mean, just a lot of their ability in these previous 4 matches. We're moving to Clam Blitz on Snapper Canal because this tournament is not over now that gentleman's replay has gone down. Snapper Clams. Well, I wonder if we'll be not that I wonder that we'll see the brush, but I want to see the brush come back. We are going to see it come back, of course, but I'm really excited to see how it will play out, just because I don't know. I mean, this isn't necessarily brush map, but it can still play well here.
Well, I'm wondering if they're going to bring out the more aggressive brush for whatever reason. They were playing really well with the vanilla Octo brush and the ink brush Nouveau, but ever since they were playing well with that, they decided to go with this the Nouveau one. And there you go, the ink brush bringing its ballerness back into the action here. And good, you got to see that extra aggression. Now that you lost your K-Shot player Nitro, and Nova's kind of sticking with the junior, you're going with this C-Jet, I guess this spam from this point on. You need somebody to pick up that aggression that you used to have. It's got to come from Toby.
Yeah, and then that's where it's going to come from. We have Nick here. Early pick on that ink brush, though, which is going to take out all of that aggression that you were mentioning. And I don't know how much effect it's going to have. We have a couple of picks on Cook Islands, but of course, because it's very early on in the game, we're watching the clams get collected. We have Cam here with that power clam, looking for an opening, although there's not a good one just yet. Of course, you want to avoid being killed on this jump here and then the clam falling into the water, because then the commentators will point and laugh at you. So you're just better off waiting for a little bit of an opportunity. Hello?
Yeah, just trying to force something right there. Ultimately, just kind of getting the trade as the basket is popped. Rising Wave able to get the initial lead. But again, how do you finish your push? You realize this one's dead, but they lose another player along that backside. So now Cook Island's able to kind of capitalize off of that seemingly an empty push coming out there. Of course, they would, unless Morza, who's been making really insane plays over the course of the time they've been on stream, able to stay alive here on the enemy backside of the map. And now if you're Cook Islands, you think, do we try to push up, or do we try to focus back on this mini that could to create some jumps into our side of the base at any moment if we don't deal with it?
Yeah, it's just a matter of where to direct your attention at this point. We do get a clam in for Cook Islands. We've got the Stingray very, very close as well, looking for a pick on Cam. And we have a jump in. The clam just kind of got tossed. So I don't think they're going to be getting that back anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a pushing up forward, hoping that somebody was going to stay up there and stay alive, and didn't really work out. So yeah, they lose that clam. Is that their Mercy clam they just kind of chucked away too? That would be a little... yeah, it is, though. They don't have a Mercy clam to work with right now, but instead it's Rising Wave on the back foot, or on the front foot here, trying to look to get a few picks before, or just go in for free. Okay. Taking care of the Slosher player, they get the lead right back. Oh, Toby goes down as well. Oh, this is going to be ugly.
Yeah, all of these little clams coming in from the rest of the team. Going to take that all the way down to 28. Very nice. 28 and counting. Actually, we've gotten down to 16. We have the power clam coming in. There's the jump. There is the KO.
There is the tournament. That is it. No more gentlemen. There's nothing to feel bad about the Alpha Rising Wave. You won it straight up this time. I like it. Look, I understand the feeling of losing or winning a tournament when you were probably going to lose that game 4, but then you win because of a DC. So now Rising Wave gets the win straight up, and well-deserved and earned. We don't have to sit here and say, nobody can go on Twitter and be like, woo, they only won because of DCs. No, they earned it straight up that time around. Nicely done, Rising Wave, and congratulations on your second SOS tourney win.
Yeah, good job to them, and good job to Cook Islands as well. I mean, despite all the technical difficulties, they had a really good set. We saw great moments, especially at the beginning of that third game, all through the fourth game as well, the Gentleman's Replay. That was really, really nice gameplay coming from them.
And before anybody else tries to extend the set even longer, let's get out of here.
Please, I am so tired.
Close up shop. Some of you got to go. I'm assuming you guys are all on summer vacation now. You guys got a long day of playing video games tomorrow, so we don't want to keep you up all night. Cater, where can people find you?
You can find me at Cater_ on Twitter, where I talk about the things I commentate, post, art, and you'll also find me on Friday Night Funkin' stream this coming Friday. I will be there. How about you, Popgun?
You can find me telling people to sign up for Low Ink now. Sign up early instead of waiting to the last minute like a lot of you are going to do.
There it is. There's all of the information.
Twitter at Mr_Popgun. From all of us here at IPL Labs, the head TOs for this tournament, Tulip, Grace, and Sky, our streamer Kraken Mayor this time around. We thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week for SOS number 71, and have a good night. You have been watching SOS 70 here on IPL.